Imadu, I put you on Jerusalem. Stand and face Jerusalem. The blessing of the Sabbath. Barakatha Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Asherah, Athalanawa, Hashabath, Bashalawam, Thawada, Aman. Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, that gives us the Sabbath in peace. Thank you, so be it. Taha'ayim Ma'ad, Asherayim Akkad, Psalms 121. Anya Harayim Ayanyam Ya Oh Haharayim Ma'ayan Yabawa'a Isaiah Yabawa'a Mayahawa Sha'aisha Shamayim Wa'aratiza La'a Jonathan Lamawat Ragalia Yala'a Yanawam Shashamarka, Hana, La'a, Yanawam, Wala'a, Yayashun, Shashuma, Yasharala, Yahweh, Shamaria, Yahweh, Tazalia, I'll Yad, Yam Ya, Yawamam, Hashamash, La'a, Hakaya, Wayarak, La'a Balayala Yahweh Yashamaria Makal Ra Yashama Napasha Yahweh Yashamar Awalakia Wabawaya Ma'aitha I Walam Bahasham Yahweh Shah Thawada Aman.
Psalm 121. I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper. The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Lord shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth and even forevermore. Amen.
Amen. Shema Yasharella, heal Israel. Shema Yasharella, Yahweh, Allah Hayanawa, Yahweh, Echad Shema Yasharallah Yahweh Allah Hayanawa Yahweh Echad Shema Yasharallah Yahweh Allah Hayanawa Yahweh Echad.
Deuteronomy 6:4. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord. Amen.
Amen. Tapala Yahweh, the Lord's Prayer. Abba Yahweh, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Hayah, Shamka, Yahweh, Malakwethka, Saba'ah, Ratazawanka, Hayah, Aisha, Ba'aratazah, Ka, Bashamayim, Nathalanawa, Lakam, Yawum, Za, Wasalakunawa, Kababathnawa, Kasalaknawa, Kababathyanawa, Wala'a, Habiyanawa, O Nasayawan, Abo, Hawashinawa, Mara, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Waha'ala, Watha Pa'arath, La'ayawalam, Amen.
Matthew 6:9. After this manner, therefore, pray, Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Aisharama Tazwaf, the Ten Commandments. La'ah, Yahaya, Lakah, Alahayim, Akaryim, Alpanya, La'ah, Taisha, Lakah, Paso, Wala'ah, Taibadam, La'ah, Talakwaka, Shumwa, Yahweh, Alahayaka, Lashua, Zakar, Ath, Hayawum, Hashabath, Lakodashwa, Kabad, Abiyaka, Wa'amaka, La'ah, Daratzak, La'ah, Dana'ah, La'ah, Daganab, La'ah, Da'ina, Shakur, La'ah, Dakamad, Ko, Asherah, Lara'ayaka. Amen.
Exodus 22. I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in the heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain, for the Lord will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gate. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and holiday. Honor thy father and thy mother, that their days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. Amen.
Amen. Yeshua, be seated. Barakatha Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Asherah, Nathan Lanawa, Par Yahagapin, Thawada Amun, La Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Ath Yasha'Allah. English translation: Blessed are you, the most high power, in the name of Jesus Christ, or Yahweh Shai, that gives to us the fruit of the vine. Thank you, so be it, to Yahweh in the name of Yahweh Shai with Israel. Imad upon you, Jerusalem, stand and face Jerusalem. Barakatha Yahweh, Hagadol, Rachuam, Abiyah, Wanara'ah, Alayawan, Malak, Shol, Shemayim, Wa'aratazah, Wako, Dobayim, Chayayim, Wagam, Hamashiach, Mayahawa, Adawan Noah, Ahab Noah, Hapalah, Yahweh Yahweh Shai, Zakar Noah, Yahweh, Barataza 1, Imka, Yasha'Allah, Izar Noah, Banah, Wasap, Yasha'Allah, O, Nanawa, Yum Yun, Aitha, Kayawamyam, Makwadam, Baba Kusha, Shalat, Mayaka'Allah, Wahataza Wadat, Alahayim, La, Magun Noah, Rapah Noah, Washamar, Al Noah, Ba'akwar, Shalat, Roka, Sho, Yahweh Shai, Lanoah, Lalamad Noah, Rabiam, Kakama, Sabawana, Wada'ith, Sho, Dabarka, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Thawada, Yad, Wa'iwalam, Amun. English translation: Blessed are you, Yahweh, the great, merciful, mighty, terrible, most high power, King of heaven and earth and all things living, and also the anointed from Yahweh, our Lord, our friend, the wonderful counselor, Yahweh Shai. Remember us, Yahweh, favorably, your people Israel. Help us build and gather Israel. Most high, we beg you, right now, like the days of old. Please send Michael and the righteous powers or angels to protect us, heal us, and watch over us. Mainly send the spirit of Yahweh Shai to us to teach us much wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of thy word. In the name of Yahweh Shai, thank you always and forever. So be it. Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai that gives to us the law. Barakatha Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Asherah, Athalanawa, Hathawarah. Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai that gives to us light to see. Barakatha Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Asherah, Athalanawa, War, Lara. Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai that gives to us the ram's horn to call the people. Barakatha Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Asherah, Athalanawa, Korun, Ha'ayal, La Korah, Ha'aim. Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai that gives to us the olive oil to anoint Israel. Barakatha Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Asherah, Athalanawa, Hashaman, Zayath, Lamashach, Yasha'Allah, Yeshabwa, BC.
Look up there, man. Look back here. Look up there.
All right. Shalom Yashra'Allah, or happy Sabbath to all Israel, those who are present here in the school, occupants here, shalom. Those who are watching on the live stream, brothers and sisters on the internet, cell phones, laptops, shalom. Those who are listening on the teleconference line, brothers and sisters as well, shalom, or peace unto all, and happy Sabbath. This is the seventh day of the week, which is the Sabbath day according to the law, where we come and worship, take times out of our schedule. 6 days we are allowed to do all our pleasures and our work, but the seventh day is a time dedicated to worshiping the Most High and doing good works for us and our people, in the name of Yahweh Shah to the Most High. So we are Hayashra Kanas, which is in Hebrew, which is a congregation of Israel, where we teach the law, statutes, and commandments found throughout the scriptures. We teach history, archaeology, prophecy, fruits of the spirit, right? Testimony. We go through a lot of things that's found throughout the Holy Bible, Old Testament, New Testament, as well as what is known as the books of the Apocryphal, or the hidden books, right? You can find this in the 16 King James Version Bible. This is a old Apocrypha, as you can see. I've had this for many, many, many years, probably going over 20 some odd years. Still doing justice. We also teach nationality as it pertains to the scriptures. All nations that's on the planet Earth today are found in the Bible, specifically the Most High's chosen people, the lost tribes of the nation of Israel, whose ancestors on their father's side, anyone today in 2019, whose ancestry on their father's side, going back 3 generations, right, were those who are known today in the world as coming over on cargo slave ships during the diaspora in the 1600s. Right, to North, Central, and South America, also throughout Europe, and spread throughout the 4 corners. Some also remained there in the continent of Africa, right, known as the so-called Negroes, right, make up a portion of the 12 lost tribes of the nation of Israel, otherwise known as the Southern Kingdom, right? There were 3 tribes in the Southern Kingdom, so-called Negroes, so-called Haitians, as well as the West Indians. Then you had those who through migration coming out of the Assyrian captivity, when you read the history in Kings and the Apocrypha, came over and migrated and inhabited the lands from Canada, North America, Central America, South America, right? And some parts of the Caribbean, right? Make up the northern tribes of Israel, so-called Puerto Ricans, right? So-called Dominicans, so-called Mexicans, so-called Argentinians, Peruvians, and all throughout when you read that, Brazilians, Chileans, are all throughout when you read the scriptures, the Most High describes from prophecy where they would be inhabited and what their characteristics would be, right? So we find that through the scriptures. Then you have the other nations, right? When you read the Bible about Edom, when you read about Moab, when you read about Ishmael, when you read about Elam, reading the scriptures about Ham, right? All of these are nations known today by other names, but the Most High has the original names or biblical names. This is what we get out of the scriptures to understand when we read the Bible, when we start reading about empires and we start reading about peoples, we can understand what the Most High's context and intentions are. All right. So the laws of the scriptures still be in effect today, not just the 10 commandments, but all of the laws that's found throughout the whole Bible, right? They all play a part in what we're supposed to be doing in order to serve God and Christ to the best of our ability and keeping those ordinances. The nation of Israel fell numerous times, including this last time, because they disobeyed God's ordinances. Therefore, the Lord brought judgment in the earth. And we are a product of seeing a lot of catastrophes and atrocities happening to the same nation of people because of their disobedience and unwillingness to understand and bend and learn the Most High's way. All right. So today we're going to go into the New Testament. We read Old Testament, New Testament, hidden books in the Apocrypha each Sabbath day as we continue on. This Sabbath, we're in the New Testament, the book of Luke, the 6th and 7th chapters. As we do accustomadly, we're going to read in the Hebrew first, the ancient tongue, Lashuan Kodash, or the Holy Tongue. We're going to read it in Ibaria, or Hebrew, the language of the past. This was the language that was first found in the earth, known by all nations at that time before the Tower of Babel, where the Lord confounded the languages, right? And then you have various different languages amongst different people, and they assimilated together. But back then in the beginning, everyone was of one language when you read it in the scriptures. That was Hebrew. That was Ibaria. So that's what I'm going to read now. First, Luke, the 6th chapter in the Hebrew, and then we'll continue on and read it in English with edification and understanding. All right. So let me see if, not sure if my email went out. For those who, it did go out, Most High's will, Kahan will forward that out for those who want to. Oh, I hung up by mistake, a lot. Bear with me 1 second. All right, so let's read Luke 6:1. Why you higher?
And why is
And it came to pass. So it says, Wayahaya Bashabath Hashanyath Lasapaya Rath Ha'ai Mar Ibar Bayan Hakwa Ma Waya Kwatapwa Thalama Yadyawa Mala Yalath Waya Parakwa Athan Bayadyaham Waya Kowa, verse 2. Wayash Mun Hapara Washim Ashara Amarwa Olyaham Lama Atham Isham Ath Ashara Ayanunwa Mathar La Aishwath Bashabath, verse 3. That's the Sabbath days. Verse 3. Waya Ain Yahawashai Waya Amar Al Yaham Hala'ah Kwa Ratham Ath Asherah Aisha Dawad Baha Yawathwa Ra'aib Hawa'ah Wa Asherah Hayawa Athwa, verse 4. Ka Asherah Ba'a O Bayath Ha'alahayim Wayakwak Ath Lakam Hapunham, so like Hapunyam, Waya Akol, Wagum, Nathan, La Asherah, Athwa, Ath, Asherah, La'a, Nakawan, La'a, Kowa, Kiya'am, Laka Hunyam, Lada Laba Dum, verse 5. Waya Amar, Al Yoham, Bun, Ha'adam, Gum, Ada One, Hashabath, Hawa'ah, verse 6. Waya Haya, and it came to pass. Bashabath, Akarath, Ba'a, O, Bayath, Hakana Sath, Waya Lamad, Wa Shum, Ayash, Asherah, Yaba Shah, Yadwa, Haya Mun Yath, verse 7. Waya Rabwa, Lawa, Hasawa, Paryam, Wahapara, Washim, Lara Wath, Yarapa, Bashabath, Lama'ain, Yama Tazawa, Alyawa, Shata Na, verse 8. Wahawa'ah, Yadai Ath, Maka Shab, Watham, Waya Amar, O, Ha'a, Yash, Asherah, Yadwa, Yaba Shah, Kwawam, Wa'ai, Mawad, Batha Wak, Waya Kum, Waya I Mad, verse 9. Waya Amar, Ol Yaham, Yahawashai, Asher, Allah, Athkam, Dabar, Ha Nakwan, Basha Bath, Laha Lahayatyab, Laharai, Laha Tazayo, Napash, Laabad. Verse 10. Wayabat, Sabayab, O, Kalam, Waya Amar, Laayash, Pashat Ath, Yadka, Waya Aish, Kun, Watha Rapal, Yadwa, Watha Shab, Karath, verse 11. Waha Ma Nama Lawa, Kama, Waya wa Sadwa, Yakud, Ma La Aishwath, Laya Hawashai. Verse 12. Laya Hawashai, to Yahawashai. Okay. Verse 12. Why Yahweh, and it came to pass. Why Yahaya?
Yeah, in 12, right?
Mm-hmm. Why Yahaya? By Wumyim, Hahum, Waya Tazah, Haha Ra, Lahatha Palo, Waya Imad, Kol, Hala Yalaw, Bathapa La, La Alahayim, verse 13, Wabaha Salak, Wabaha Yath, Habakur, Asap, Olyawa, Ath, Thalama Yadyawa, Waya Bakar, Bahum, Shunhum, Salak, Shunyam, Aishara, Ashara, Gum, Quara, Lahum, Shala Yakyam, verse 14, Ath, Shamaiwan, Ashara, Gum, Quarawa, Patarwas, Wa'ath, Ada Rad, Salak, Ada Anadaria, Akwa Ath, Ya'aikwab, Wa'ath, Yawakanan Ath, Pa Yo, Pawas, Wa'ath Bar, Thalumya, Ath, Mathya, Wa'ath, Thawa Ma, Wa'ath, Ya'aikwab, Bun, Kalapya, Wa'ath, Shemaiwan, Hama Kana, Haikwa Na. Verse 16. Ath Yada Yahawada, Judas. Yahawada Bun Ya'aikwab. So yeah. Yahawada Bun Ya'aikwab. Wa'ath Yahawada Ayash Quara Yawath Asherah Gum Haya Lamawa Sar. Verse 17. Waya Rad Athum Waya Imad Bama Kuwum Maya Shawar Wahama One Thala Mayadua Yakwaho Aim Rab Makol Yahawada Yerushalayim Wama Kawap Yum Tazar Wataza Yadyawa Salak Wataza Yadwan Ashra Ba'awa Lashamai Aswa Wala Ha Rapal Makol Yayahum, verse 18. Wagum Hana La Katazium Barokawath to Mawath Wayara Pawa, verse 19. Wako Hahama one Makwa Kwash, so like Maba Kwashim Laga Aith Bawa Kya Gab Wara Yataza All Ma'athwa Warapa All Ath Kalam, verse 20. Wahabwa Nashar Ath I Yanyawa O Thala Mayadyawa Waya Amar Ashar Yakam Ha'ain Yaham Salak Ha'ain Yayam Kaya Lakam Makowath Ha'alahayim. Verse 21. Asharyakum hara Ibim Ka'ith Kaya Sasha Baiwa Asharyakum ha Bakyum Ka'ith Kaya Sasha Kwak Sasha Kakwa. Verse 22. Asharyakum Yasha Nawa Athkum Nashim wa ya Nadwa Athkum wa Rapwa Wahada Yakwa Ath Shama Kum Kasham Rai Ba'ibwar Bun Ha'adam. Verse 23. Shamakwa Baya Wum Hahawa'a Wara Kwadwa Kaya Hana Shakarkum Rab Bashamayim Kaya Kaza'ath Aishwa Abatyaham Lanaba Yayim. Verse 24. Ak Oya Lakam Ha'aisha Yaryam Kaya Kabar La Kwaktam Ath Naka Mathkam Orya Lakam Hasha Bayam Kaya Thara Aibwa Oya Lakam Hasha Kakyim Ka'aith Kaya Thatha Bowa Watha Bakwa. Verse 26. Oya Lakam Ko Nashim Masha Bakyam Athkam Kaya Kaza'ath Aishwa Aba Wathyaham Lana Bayaya Hasha Kor. Verse 27. Abo all Yakam Hasha Mayim Anya Amar Habwa Ath Yabyakam Ha Yat Yabwa Lasha Nayakam. Verse 28. Barakwa Ath Makwalo Yakam Wahatha Palowa Ba'aid Makala Yum Yakam. Verse 29. Hamaka Athka Ayel Halakya Hator Lawa Gum Ath Karath Wahala Kwak Ath Ma'aya Salak Ma'ayolka All Thamanai Ma Munwa Gum Ath Katha Nathka. Verse 30. Wako Hasha O Mumka Thun Lawa Wahala Kwak Ath Ashira Lak O Thasha O Ma'athwa. Verse 31. Waka Ashira Thaka Patazwa Kaya Ya Aishwa Lakam Bunyam Dum Kum Tha Aishwa Lahum Gum Athum. Verse 32. Wa Tha Habwa Ath Habyakam Ma Hawa'a Kasadkam Kaya Gum Haka Tayim Habyam Ath Habyaham. Verse 33. Wa Tha Yat Yabwa Lama to Yabyakam Ma Hawa'a Kasad Kum Gum Haka Tayim Ya Aishwa Kun. Verse 34. Wa Tha Lawa Ath Ha'a Nashim Ashara Thakwawa Lakwa Bo Mahum Ma Hawa'a Kasad Kum Gum Haka Tayim Mo Salak Mowayam Ath Haka Tayim Lama Ain Yawa Shab Lahum Basha Wa. Verse 35. Abo Ahabwa Ath Ayabyakam Waha Yat Yabwa Waha Lawa Ma Bolya Thawa Kalath Wahawa Shakarkam Rab Wahaya Thum Bunya Alyawan Kaya Tawab Hawa'a Gum Lasha Kakya Toa Ba, Wala Ryan, verse 36. Lakan Haya Wa Raka Munyam Ka Ashira Gum Abaya Kum Rakawam Hawa'a, verse 37. Wa O Thasha Patwa Wala'a Thasha Patwa O Thaka Yabwa Wala'a Thaka Yabwa Nakwa Watha Nakwa, verse 38. Thunwa Watha Nawath Salak Wathana Thun Lakam Madam Tawa Ba Ad Adwakwa Wagadwashaw Wama Shapa I Salak Wama Shapa I Ya Thunwa O Kayadkam Salak Kayakwa Salak Kayakam Kaya Bama Da Ashra Thum Mawadadyam Baha Yamad Lakam. Verse 39. Waya Shah Ma Shawa Waya Amar Al Yaham Haya Wako I war Lana Ho Ath Ha I war Hala'am Yapowa Shunyaham O Hapakath. Verse 40. Ayun Latha Salak Lath Thama Thalama Yad Na I La Ayo Rabwa Wada Ya Lako Thalama Yad Shalom Hala Salak Lahaya Wath Karabwa, verse 41. Wala Ma Za Atha Ra'al Ath Hakwa Sum Ashra Ma'ayan Akika Wa'ath Hakwa Wara Ba'ayanka La'a Sabayat. 42. Wa'aka Salak Wa'ayak Tha'a Mar O Akika Akya Hana Yaka Laya Wa'a Saya Salak Wa'asa Yara Ath Hakwa Sum Ashra Ba'ayanka Wa'ayanka Ra'a Ath Hakwa Wara Ashra Ba'ayanka Hakha Nap Hasar Bara Ashwana Ath Hakwa Wara Ma'ayatka Wa'ash Salat Ma'ayanka Wa'akar Ra'a Thara Laha Siyar Ath Hakwasam Ashra Ba'ayan Akika. Verse 43. Kiya Aitaza Tuwab Aya Nanwa Aisha Parya Masha Kath Wagam Aitaza Mashakath Aya Nanwa Aisha Parya Tuwab. Verse 44. Kaya Ko Aitaza Nakar Baparyawa Kaya Ayan Sapyam Tha'anyam Man Hakwa Taza Yam Ap Ayan Batazo Batazarian I Na Man Hasa Na. Verse 45. Ha'a Yash Hata Wab Ma'awa Tazar Lababwa Hata Wab Mapa Yak Ath Hata Wab Waha'awa Salak Waha'a Yash Harai Ma'a Watazar Lababwa Harai Mapa Yak Ath Harai Kaya Masha Pa'aith Halab Yama Lo Payawa. Verse 46. Walama za atham kwa rayam laya adunya wa yankam aishim ath ashra anya amar. Verse 47. Ko Haba'a Oya Washawa Mai Ath Dabaria Wa Aisha At Atham Awa Ra Athkam Lamaya Hawa'a Dawa Ma, verse 48. Dawa Ma Hawa'a La Yash Bana Bayath Ashra Ha'e Mayak Lakapar Wayaya Sadwa Ayo Hasa Lai Wakaba Wa'am Hasha Tap Parataz Hana Har Baba Yath Hahawa'a Wala'a Yako Lahana Yaiwa Kaya Ayo Hasa Lai Yasa Wadwa, verse 49. Waya Amar Shemai Wala'a Aisha Dawamai La'a Yash Ashra Naba Salat Bana Bayath Ayo Hakwara Kwai Boya Yasa Wad Waya Parataz Bawa Hana Har Waya Po Patha Waya the Salat Waya Ga Do Shabar Haba Yath Hahawa'a.
Amen.
All right. So that's Luke 6th chapter in Hebrew. Now we'll get to it in the English.
How long took you to learn how to read Hebrew?
About 2 days.
Oh, right in one. 2 days.
Yeah.
What kind of student you was in school?
I mean,
grade-wise. A, B,
I don't think that's relevant.
Oh, no, I'm just saying.
No.
What kind of student?
The reason why I'm saying that because this is just, it's passion, it's interest, right? So if you're really passionate about it and you're really interested in it, then you're gonna put it in and you're gonna catch it like quick, like sister did, and picked it up real quick. So it's the time that you put in to learning it. First, the majority of the time you're gonna spend is just learning the alphabet. Once you learn the alphabet, that's like 70% of everything. You just got to understand visually, be able to recognize the symbols. 70%. You can spend a day just going through the alphabet. It's shorter than the American alphabet. You just got to learn them and then be able to recognize them, write them down. And then once you have that, then when you read, conjugating words is simple. Real simple. Especially for the ancient Hebrew, what they call the Phoenician or the Paleo Hebrew.
Yeah, how long is a semester?
How long is a semester?
Yeah.
For what? College or high school?
Or like college.
Depends. It can be 4 months, 3 months, depending on the college.
4 months. Right?
Yeah.
So in 3 4 months, we should be able to get the alphabet, right?
In 3 4 months?
Yeah.
In 3 4 weeks, you should be reading the Hebrew. Not 3 4 months. I would say if somebody who wanted to learn how to read specifically ancient Hebrew, that's a week to learn the alphabet. Max to learn the alphabet.
Writing every day?
Yeah. Recognizing it, writing every day. Max. My middle daughter, when she attempted to do it, a day.
1 day.
1 day. 1 day, and was reading Hebrew. Right? So again, it's interest and time. It's just, just putting it in and doing it. If you don't fully have it in you, then you're going to half-ass it, and then you're not going to get it as well. That's why I said, somebody who can be a D student, F student in regular school, scholastic school system, can go and find something that they're passionate about and be like a doggone whiz kid at that, because that's what they're passionate about, or that's what they have their interest drawn to. So same thing with the scriptures and wisdom, right? You don't have to be someone prominent out in society to get this, right? Before I get into Luke, in Matthew 13 and 16. Matthew 13, 16 says, blessed are your eyes, for they see, and your ears, for they hear. For verily I say unto you that many prophets and righteous men have desired to see those things which ye see, and have not seen them, and to hear those things which ye hear, and have not heard them. Right? So this is a privilege to be able to see these things and understand these things, and be in this time where we can bear testimony to them. Right? But then also in Matthew's 11, so this was Matthew's 13, 16, and 17. And then Matthew's 11 and 25. He says, at that time, Yahushua answered and said, I thank thee, O Father, Lord of heaven and earth, because thou hast hid these things from the wise and prudent, right? And has revealed them unto babes, right? So the same way in how when Yahushua, when he was young, he was standing amongst doctors and lawyers and going back and forth with things pertaining to wisdom, right? And they're like, well, how is he getting this? He just got just but 12 years old, right? He was physically 12 years old, right? But then you have people who are spiritually 12 years old, according to this truth. And then with this truth, Yahushua and the Most High is revealing these things to you, where people who are wise, prudent out there in the society, in the world, esteemed, highly regarded, they don't see this stuff, right? The simplicity of the scriptures, they don't see it. But here it is, the Most High has blessed us where we're able to see it and comprehend it, right? So we should never have to compare ourselves or look down upon ourselves because we don't have the same amount of accolades as those who might have some out in the world, you know, doctorates and PhDs and, you know, teaching at this university and so forth and so on, where just the basics of what's going on, who you are as a person, you have way more wisdom than those individuals. And that's why Yahushua is saying he thanked that the Most High didn't give it to those folks, because now it's going to be harder for people to believe it. If it came from Cornell West and he's teaching at Harvard or wherever he's teaching at, or if it came from this professor at a certain such school, people be like, yo, he dropping it. It'd be much easier for folks to believe, but it's coming from Zakar, right? It's coming from Zakar. It's coming from Yahweh Kanan. Folks don't highly esteem, we're not highly esteemed like that or regarded like some of these other folks in society. So you're like, who are these guys? Look at these guys. Go get a job. Go do something, right? What do you guys got? What do you guys know, right? What school you went to? Did you go to theological school to go and teach that Bible, right? Where's your degrees at? I don't see them, right? So Yahushua said, I'm glad I didn't send it. You didn't give it to them. Let this be about faith. Let's see who's going to hear wisdom and respond to it when necessary. All right, so now let's go to Luke 6. Luke 6 and 1. It says, and it came to pass on the second Sabbath after the first, that he went through the cornfields, and his disciples plucked the ears of corn and did eat, rubbing them in their hands, right? So it is the second Sabbath after the first. They now see the disciples of Yahushua going through the cornfields, taking corn off the stalks and rubbing it in their hands to get the things off. You know, that's how they was doing it, to get it off, like it could fall off. And certain of the Pharisees said unto them, why do ye that which is not lawful to do on the Sabbath days? Right? So now, according to the law, like what we read in Exodus during the prayers, you go to Exodus, the 20th chapter. Exodus 20 and 8. Zakar, you read that.
says, Exodus 28. Remember the Sabbath day, keep it holy.
Keep going.
6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God, and it thou shalt not do any work.
Mm-hmm.
Thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy maid servants, and thy maid servants, nor the cattle, nor the stranger that is within thy gates. For the 6th day the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the 7th day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and housed it.
Right. So they're referring back to the law where this day is supposed to be a holy day. 6 days, we got the opportunity to go do all of our harvesting, our reaping, and all those different types of things that we would normally do outside of the Sabbath day. But now here is a Pharisee who's observing men going into the cornfields. And just not any men, Yahweh's disciples. The man who's going out there teaching and has a large, huge following. The one that a lot of folks believe he is the Son of God. He is the Messiah. He is the anointed one. But I see those who are following him breaking the law for what we see or we read here in the scriptures. Go to Numbers 15. Numbers 15, 32.
Okay. Numbers 15, 32.
Uh-huh.
And while the children of Israel were in the wilderness, they found a man that gathered sticks upon the Sabbath day.
Right. So again, here's a Sabbath day. This person is out there gathering sticks, doing some form of labor on a Sabbath day. Read.
And they found, and they that found him gathered sticks, brought him to Moses and Aaron and to all the congregation.
Right. So they found him, probably talked to him about what he's doing, and they snatched him up. And they hauled his behind back to Moses and the elders to see what they was going to do with him. Read.
And they put him in board because it was not declared what should be done to him.
Right. So as they sit in the discussion, no one can come to a consensus of what's supposed to be done. So what? They put him in like jail. They put him in a chamber or something that he could be held and guarded until actual word came on what his fate or judgment was going to be. Read.
And the Lord said to Moses, the man shall be surely put to death.
So now the Most High comes and intervenes. While the men couldn't decide, the Most High now sends answer down on what's supposed to be happening to this man. Read.
All the congregation shall stone him with stones without care.
Right. So the Lord said he got to be stoned to death. Everybody's going to pick up a stone and stone him to death without the camp. Why? Because he went and gathered sticks on the Sabbath day. Right. Right now, we're supposed to be time set aside to do this. And his intentions wasn't proper because he could have done this on any other day, but he chose to do this on the Sabbath day. And the Most High judged him for it. Right. Now, let's go back to Luke 6 and read in verse 2 again. So now Luke 6 and 2, reading it again, it says, and certain of the Pharisees said unto them, why do ye that which is not lawful to do on the Sabbath days? As far as for going out in the fields, plucking up corn. Yahweh answering them said, have ye not read so much as this, what David did when himself was an hungered, and they which were with him, how he went into the house of God and did take and eat the showbread, and gave also to them that were with him, which is not lawful to eat, but for the priest alone. Right? So here it is. As you read this, or if you were to read it by itself without knowing the Old Testament, it would appear as if David went in there and went and grabbed the showbread because he was just hungry, meaning that he could have had other forms of victuals or food, but he went and chose that which was not lawful to eat. Right? Now you can write down Exodus 29. You can write down 2 chapters. Exodus 29. (32) and Leviticus 24. Right? We're going to go to Exodus 29, 32 and Leviticus 24 and 5. Actually, first I'm going to go to Leviticus 24.
Leviticus 24, 5. And thou shalt, son,
Gun.
and thou shalt take 5 flour and bake 12 cakes thereof. 2/10 shall be in 1 cake, and thou shalt set them in 2 rows, 6 on 1 row upon the pure table before the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
And thou shalt put pure frankincense upon each row, that it may be on the bread for a memorial, even an offering made by fire unto the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
Every Sabbath he shall set it in order before the Lord continually, being taken from the children of Israel by an everlasting covenant.
Mm-hmm.
And it shall be Aaron and his son, and they shall eat it in the holy place, for it is most holy unto him of the offerings of the Lord, made by fire, by a particular statute.
By what?
Particular.
Read it again.
Oh. Particular.
Read it again.
By a particular.
It all says particular.
Perpetual.
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 All right. You know what perpetual means?
No.
And perpetual means enduring forever. Right? It doesn't stop. It doesn't end. It keeps on going. Right? So this law only pertained to Aaron and his sons, meaning as it pertains to the loaves of bread or the showbread, as we now know it to be, it was supposed to be set up in the tabernacle, in the temple, in 2 rows. And they were supposed to eat it within the holy place, right? Because this was the offering before the Most High for taking them from amongst the children of Israel, specifically from amongst Levi. They were the only ones to eat it because it was most holy unto them, right? Now, go to Exodus 29.
Exodus chapter 29, verse 32. And Aaron and his sons shall eat the flesh of the brand, and the bread that is in the basket by the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And they shall eat those things wherewith the atonement was made, and to consecrate and to sacrifice them. But a stranger shall not eat thereof, because they are holy. Right.
It says they're supposed to eat the ram, the flesh. They're supposed to eat the bread. They're supposed to eat these things because this was sanctified unto them. It was most holy that Aaron and his sons supposed to eat this. Then it says, but a stranger should not eat thereof because they are holy. So when it says a stranger should not eat thereof, what is it talking about? This is Exodus 29 and 33, 32 and 33.
Should that be an outsider?
Hmm?
An outsider?
Uh-huh.
That's the outsider.
But when we say outsider, who's the outsider?
That's not in the 12 tribes of Israel.
That's not in the 12 tribes of Israel?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Yahukanan?
Someone who is not part of the priesthood.
Someone who's not part of the priesthood, meaning of Aaron's seed, right? You have to be of Aaron's seed or Aaron's lineage. If you're not a part of Aaron's seed or Aaron's lineage, then you are a stranger. You're also looked at as being a foreigner. This is not for you.
Like a Levite.
Right? Like any other Levites, they are strangers to this.
Okay.
Right? Go to Numbers, the 16th chapter, just to confirm it. Number 16. $36. Down to 40. I'm gonna read this one. So Numbers 16 and 36, it says, and the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto Eleazar, the son of Aaron, the priest, that he take up the censers out of the burning, and scatter thou the fire yonder, for they are hallowed. The censers of these sinners against their own souls, let them make them broad plates for a covering of the altar. For they offered them before the Lord, therefore they are hallowed, and they shall be a sign unto the children of Israel. And Eleazar, the priest, took the brazen censers, wherewith they were burnt, wherewith they that were burnt had offered, and they were made broad plates for a covering of the altar. Verse 40, to be a memorial unto the children of Israel, that no stranger which is not of the seed of Aaron come near to offer incense before the Lord, that he be not as Korah and his company, as the Lord said to him by the hand of Moses. Right? So the stranger is not just talking about the nation, the other nations. This is talking about anyone that is not of the seed of Aaron. So just because you're a Levite doesn't give you right to go and partake of these things or to perform these duties. So it's only meant holiness to the seed of Aaron, right? So that's why now when it's coming to the showbread was only for Aaron and his seed. So now Yahushua is referencing this same point because his disciples and him are being accused of going and doing that which is not lawful to do on the Sabbath day, right? So now let's see what Yahushua is referring to. Let's go to 1 Samuel. 1 Samuel 21. I'm going to read from 1 down to 6.
Really?
1 Samuel 21 and 1. It says, then came David to Nob to Ahimelech the priest. And Ahimelech was afraid at the meeting of David and said unto him, why art thou alone and no man with thee? And David said unto Ahimelech the priest, the king have commanded me a business and have said unto me, let no man know anything of the business whereby I send thee. And I have commanded thee, and I have appointed my servants to such and such a place. Now, therefore, what is under thine hand? Give me 5 loaves of bread in mine hand, or what there is present, right? So now David is petitioning to the priest saying, look, I've been on a business. I was sent to go and perform a certain duty. And, you know, I've been told with my servants to go and do such and such. Oh, by the way, what is that you got under your hand over there? Give me those 5 loaves and whatever else you have, right? Verse 4. And the priest answered David and said, there is no common bread under mine hand, but there is hollow bread, meaning there is no bread that's for regular folks to eat. This is showbread that's hollow for the priests. If the young men have kept themselves at least from women. So now remember, when we read up, it says, why art thou alone? He wasn't talking about that he was just specifically by himself. He didn't come with the entourage like the king normally sends them with.
Right.
So he had people with him. So now the priest says, if the young men have kept themselves at least from women, meaning what? What does he mean when he says that the young men have kept themselves at least from women? Why is he asking that question or pointing that out?
So they didn't have sex with women to make themselves unclean at that moment.
Exactly, that they had not been around any woman to go ahead, went and laid with them to make them unclean.
Okay.
Right? So now the priest already recognized and said, look, I don't have no common bread here. What I have here is hollow bread. Right? So now the priest is making the decision that says, you know what? These men are hungry. All I have is holy bread. All right. If you guys have not been unclean by women, then I'll give you this bread to eat. I don't want to send you away, not able to have any victuals of food. They was hungry, they was starving. So I'm gonna give you this, right? But according to what we just read, they was not supposed to eat that, right? Verse 5. And David answered the priest and said unto him, of a truth, women have been kept from us about these 3 days since I came out. And the vessels of the young men are holy, and this bread is in a manner common. Yeah, though it was sanctified this day in the vessel, right? So this is like common bread, but it was made holy. So bread is bread, right? So now we have done exactly what you said. We have not come near any women for the past 3 days. So we're clean, right? It says, so the priest gave him hollow bread, for there was no bread there but showbread that was taken from before the Lord to put hot bread in the oven when it was taken away, right? So there was nothing else left. That was what was left. That was what was remaining. So the priest gave him that showbread. We just read the law said no stranger is supposed to eat thereof, only those who come from the seed of Aaron. So here is one who's the seed of Aaron making an executive decision that says, this is my fellow neighbor, my brothers. They hungry. They have nothing else to eat. There is nothing left here to eat but this bread. Long as y'all clean, I'm going to allow this to be eaten by you, right? The showbread, the holy bread, right? Keep in mind, we are also nation of priests, but this was set aside for just the Levitical priesthood under Aaron's lineage. But they were given this bread to eat. So now there was no judgment that was against them for doing that. When they ate the bread, they didn't drop dead, right? As other times when you see other individuals who did certain things that was wrong against the scriptures, the Most High judged them. But David and these men, they didn't fall into any judgment or sin, right? Now, when we go back to Luke 6:3, read 6:3. It says, and Yahushua answering them said, have ye not read so much as this, what David did when himself was an hunger and they that were with him, how he went into the house of God and did take and eat the showbread and gave also to them that were with him, which is not lawful to eat, but for the priest alone. And he said unto them that the Son of Man is Lord also of the Sabbath. Meaning, if this priest did this for David and his men, right? Being the holy priest, the priest that was set up by the Most High to eat this bread and do these duties in the holy temple. And there was no judgment. He did that for them. Guess what? Someone who's Lord over the Sabbath is here right now, allowing these men to go into the field and pick corn and eat it because there's nothing left for them to eat, right? So now he's giving his status, who he is, his power, his prominence to the Sadducees about why it is okay for them to go and do what they do. Given the context that there was nothing else for the men to eat while he went into the temple back then, same thing now. These men have nothing to eat. They're hungry. Go ahead and get something to eat. Get that and that alone and get something to eat and you can fill yourself. So this is what Yahushua is saying. This is allowable. This is plausible for them to do on this day. The Lord of the Sabbath is here. The Son of Man who's over the Sabbath is here. Saying that this is a righteous thing.
Yeah, the thing is that, and then I'd like get the corn, picking it, and getting wood, and and start to cook it. Yeah, they didn't do that.
Right.
They didn't to get a pot, get the whole thing and start to cooking all this corn and so on and so forth, you know. They just pick and eat.
Right.
Similar to somebody might pick a banana and eat, you know. If they're hungry.
Run. Go to I want the verse. Mark 2nd chapter. Mark the 2nd chapter. I'm gonna read from 26 to 27. So it says in Mark 2:26, it says, how he went into the house of God in the days of Abiathar, the high priest, and did eat the showbread, which was not lawful to eat, but for the priests, and gave also to them which were with him. And he said unto them, the Sabbath was made for man, and not man for the Sabbath. Therefore, the Son of Man is Lord also of the Sabbath. Meaning, the Sabbath is a day of rest, right? It is a hallowed day for the Most High. The day in which the Lord rested from all his works and creation, that we now come and give acknowledgement and observation to all of these great things. So now here it is, the Sabbath. We're not put here to reverence the day, right? The day was made for us to allow us to come to understand. It's like a day of reflection, a day of doing good things, a day of remembrance, right? So here it is on this day. Would not have been good, or wouldn't it be fine to make sure that you do or have great things done amongst us for us in honor of the Most High, right? So how would it be if someone who you seen your brother out there hungry and you saying, you know what, he wants to get some food, but it's a Sabbath day and I don't have no food, but I got some money and it's a store right there. But no, I'm not going to do that right now. It's like 11 o'clock in the day. And you say, well, come back to me 10 hours from now and I'll get you some food. It's like, nah, go and get the brother some food for right now. Give him understanding about the day and what it is and the importance of it, but go and allow the brother to be fed. Or if you have something in your house or somewhere, go and allow him to be fed. Right? That's the understanding that Yahushua is trying to give, and that he now has command over even the Sabbath day to allow this to be done. There's nothing wrong with it. But of course, they would not regard Yahushua as being the Son of Man to determine if it was lawful or not, right? Because they were unbelievers. So Yahushua threw that out there to further inflame them about who he is and what he represents. So go back to Luke 6. I'm going to read 5 again and then move on. It says, and he said unto them that the Son of Man is Lord also of the Sabbath. And it came to pass also on another Sabbath that he entered in the synagogue and taught. And there was a man whose right hand was withered, right? So we read before in Luke, the 4th chapter, I think it was the 18th verse, the 16th verse, how it was a custom for Jews to go into the Sabbath day, to the synagogue on the Sabbath day, to go and read or hear the scriptures being taught. So this is what he did, right? Went on another Sabbath to teach. And then while he's in the synagogue, while he's in the temple, there's a person whose hand is all withered up. Some form of illness fell upon his hand, right? It says, and the scribes and Pharisees watched him whether he would heal on the Sabbath day, that they might find an accusation against him, right? So they already seen the brother that was there had the withered hand. Now enters Yahushua to go and read and start teaching as he had already been doing. But in the midst of him teaching and going around, they also know that he's a person who heals. So it's like, oh, snap. The person who got this infirmity is here, and now Yahushua is here. I want to see if he's going to do that healing today. Right? I want to see if what he going to do today. Because if he do, he off, man. It's a Sabbath day. He ain't supposed to be doing no labor, no work on the Sabbath day, right? It says, but he knew their thoughts and said to the man which had the withered hand, rise up and stand forth in the midst. And he arose and stood forth, right? So he knew their spirit, he knew their hearts, he knew their thoughts. So while they're thinking that, he called the man up, made him center of attention, and brought him forth in the midst of everybody, right? To now make it a big example. It says, then said Yahushua unto them, I will ask you one thing. Is it lawful on the Sabbath days to do good or to do evil, to save a life or to destroy it, right? So Yahushua now is throwing out, you know, another one of those questions that will jam you up, right? Based on what your intentions are. Now it's like, oh snap, here I am. I was waiting in the wings to come jam him up with a railing or false accusation. Now he done threw something back at me to make me think about myself, my spirit, my intentions. So he says, is it good on the Sabbath day to go and save somebody's life or to destroy it? Destroying it is like you see somebody has need of help. Something is wrong with him or her, and you just turn a blind eye and let them go aimlessly with their infirmity or with their illness or with their sickness, and you choose to do nothing. That's destroying someone in this sense. Not that you went and took the knife and actually killed them or took a rag or made it worse by doing nothing. It's almost the same thing, an equivalent. So on the flip side, Yahushua says, is it a good thing? One would say, yeah, it's a good thing to do something good on the Sabbath day. Feeding somebody, clothing somebody, teaching somebody, uplifting somebody, exhorting someone, healing them. All of these are good things that you would look to see done on the Sabbath day. Right. So it's like, pick. Which one would you think is good to do on the Sabbath day? To do good, to save someone, right? It says, verse 10, and looking round about upon them all, he said unto the man, stretch forth thine hand, and he did so. And his hand was restored whole as the other, right? So he probably had it hidden in the sling or something. And then as he said, stretch forth thy hand, as he stretched it forth, boom, it miraculously is now healed, right? It says, and they were filled with madness, right? So as soon as that happened, it's like, he's overjoyed. You have some of them that's in the temple is marveling, but not the Pharisees and the Sadducees. They seen that, and they probably went into an uproar. As soon as that man put his hand forth and they seen it was healed, oh, no, look, you know, you can see the whole section just going crazy now, right? Filled with madness, stamping and stomping. Oh, no, that's it. That's wicked. He should be stoned and everything else, right? But the question was already posed. Of course, they didn't answer. It was something to reflect on. That now even the observers, those who was now on the outside looking into the circumstance, can judge for themselves, right? It says, and they were filled with madness and communed one with another what they might do to Yahushua, right? So in that moment, it was like, man, this guy is off. We gotta get rid of him. We gotta get rid of him. At some point, we either gotta come up with some kind of conspiracy, some kind of accusation or thing to get this guy removed out of the way. He's blaspheming. He's breaking the laws from the Old Testament. He's claiming that he's certain things. He's son of God, and the people are following and listening to his teachings. And we ourselves are being made more minimal, right? Meaning folks are following them and not following them, right? At some point, it's going to be a reflection on us. Our seat is at jeopardy. Our position is at jeopardy, right? It's like if you open up a store here and you're making good business, but you swindling the people. You taking their money, you robbing them, but they still come to you because that's what they have. It's all that they know. Then somebody comes up and open up another shop, the competition, either across the street, down the block, but they fair, doing the up and up, and they telling the people, nah, this only costs, we only pay no more than $1 for this. That's why I'm selling it to you for $1.25. They like, with that, he was selling it for $1.50. $1.50? Oh, nah. He's saying he paid $1. We get it from the same place, right? So now as this person is prospering, more people are hearing the information and he's bringing out truth, what's going to happen? your customers are going to start dwelling in. And they all going to start going over there. So this is like the truth, right? He's giving the truth according to the Spirit of the Most High, while they were being hypocrites and saying certain things and having the people put birds on the people, and they was doing others. And he's like, nah, that's wicked. They snakes, they vipers, they hypocrites. So he was exposing them, and now the people are coming after him. So now you got to say, look, we got to figure out a way to get him out of here, man. He got to go. He's putting our position in jeopardy, right? Go to, I think it's St. John. St. John. I stopped at 10.
No.
Oh, is he sleeping in like the cell? Were you reading the Bible last night, young fella? John who?
Give me 1 second.
Okay. You will come in here. You put the name of Jesus, bring us something to eat. Anyway.
John what?
So give me 1 second. It's a lot.
I just thought about this morning again.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Spell this wrong and wrong.
Oh, man, we'll see if all this right here.
I think it's interest.
It's the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
So like, give me 1 second here.
You
Well,
always
take
want
your
to
time,
vote.
bro. You're doing a good job.
You always want to vote.
John 18.
Right. John, chapter 18. Which is the verse. I think 20, because that's what we gave you last time. Huh? Yeah. I got your mock name in here. Oh,
So like, not 18, 11.
Chapter 11.
Chapter 11.
Chapter 11. What verse is it?
46. 11:46. Mm-hmm.
What we get?
So St. John 11:46, it says, but some of them went their ways to the Pharisees and told them what things Yahushua had done. Then gathered the chief priests and the Pharisees a council and said, what do we? For this man doeth many miracles. If we let him thus alone, all men will believe on him, and the Romans shall come and take away both our place and nation. Right? So now they were fearful because of what Yahushua was speaking and what he was teaching. Outside of just doing the miracles, that's one thing. Right. The people are going to go and start following after him. But then also, based on what Yahushua is saying, repent, for the kingdom is at hand. The kingdom is coming. Our rulership is soon to come. Right. If we don't stop him, they're going to come and take away our position and our nation. Right now, we are still in captivity, but we're allowed to still follow our own customs and laws and things, right? But if we don't stop, because at that time you had people who were called zealots who wanted to now start up insurrections to come and take or force the hand to get the kingdom. We're going to read about one of the disciples whose last name was that, right? Who now wanted to go and get arms or kind of conspire amongst the people to go and try to overthrow, which was not going to happen according to the scriptures, because the Most High prophesied that these things wouldn't happen that way, right? There was always going to be other empires that was going to even come after the Romans.
Right.
But you had that. So they were afraid that their position was going to be taken away. If you guys can't control your people in the manner in which we're allowing you to control, we'll move you out of the way. And then we're going to come and take all y'all out of the way, right? That's what they was afraid of. So this is why now it was more impactful for them to go and try to remove Yahushua out the way, right? It says, and one of them named Caiaphas, being the high priest that same year, said unto them, you know nothing at all, nor consider that it is expedient for us that one man should die for the people and that the whole nation perish not, right? So somebody has to be the sacrifice. Someone has to be the scapegoat. So now we can pin all of these things on, right? Y'all don't know nothing. This is how we can work this.
Right.
And this he spake, and this spake not, so like, and this spake he not of himself, but being high priest that year, he prophesied that Yahushua should die for that nation. And not for that nation only, but that also he should gather together in one the children of God that were scattered abroad, right? So now he's just not thinking about, according to the prophecy, he's not just thinking about those that was in Judea or Jerusalem, the southern kingdom. He's also thinking about the others that are scattered. This is how we draw them together because of what we read in the Old Testament, what we read in Isaiah 53, what we read in Deuteronomy. All these things pertaining to Yahushua, this man fits the bill, right? But the Pharisees, they themselves now are looking to use this opportunity for their gain, right? Because if he out the way, cool. He's removed. He's not there anymore. We can now further our position and sustain ourselves under the authority of the Romans. Usually in certain empires, you'll have certain sellouts, certain people who are working in congruence with the higher authority. Like when you read in the Apocrypha during the time of the Maccabees, you had some wicked men who said, you know what? We're going to sell out our people so that we can get positions. Heck, I want the high priest position. I'm going to go and work with the Greeks, and then they'll set me up, right? And I'll follow all their laws and customs. And if it means killing my own people, I'm going to go and have my own people killed, right? So for position and envy and all the things that you see happen throughout the ages, we've had that happen. So now here during Yahushua's time, you got priests who are set up, who are people who are teachers of the law, but they're not walking in the law, right? They're supposed to keep knowledge. They're supposed to be walking ministers for the people. And they're doing the same thing right now today.
Well, this man knew the scriptures.
This man knew the scriptures. He understood what the purpose and intention of Yahushua is and missed what they was doing, right? So the spirit has it. Remember, Yahushua had to come to that fate. Yahushua had to come to that because that is what the Most High sent him down there for, to teach, to give grace and mercy, but he had to be the sacrifice, right? So even Yahushua knew, and him choosing the 12, Judas Iscariot had to be chosen because he had a role to fulfill. Yahushua knew he was picking. In a common sense thing, you would say, not him. I don't want that person in my circle. But Yahushua knew by having them within his circle what that was going to allow to be accomplished, right? So now here is this person stepping up, and they're realizing the role of Yahushua in the midst of what these Pharisees and Sadducees and chief priests is talking about. That Yahushua this man is here for a higher position. You guys don't really understand what's going on, but he brought that out, right? So now this will further their endeavors to go and do what they did to Yahushua as we read through the gospel, right? So it's like a perfect storm of events that happened all at one time that the Most High orchestrated. You had those who were followers of Yahushua, those who were not, right? Those who were in positions of authority, who had compassion, and those who didn't, to allow certain things to transpire and take place, to allow Yahushua to fulfill what the Most High had prophesied him to do. All right, so that was St. John 11. Con. 52. 52. So let's go back to Luke 6. and 10. It says, and looking round about upon them all, he said unto the man, stretch forth thine hand, and he did so. And his hand was restored whole as the other. And they were filled with madness and communed one with another that what they might do to Yahushua. And it came to pass in those days that he went into a mountain to pray and continued all night in prayer to the Most High God, right? So time passed, and on one night, he goes up into the mountain to go and pray, right? Therefore, a long period of time in the evening. Verse 13. And when it was day, he called unto him his disciples, and of them he chose, and of them he chose 12, whom also he named apostles, right? Simon, whom he also named Peter, Andrew, and Andrew his brother, James and John, Philip and Bartholomew, Matthew and Thomas, James the son of Alphaeus, and Simon called Zelotes, or you'll see Zealot, right? This is what I was talking about before when you read about the movement or the group of those who tried to cause insurrection or who wanted to overthrow the government at hand for the objective of allowing the Israelites to come out of the captivity and take the kingdom, right? And 16, and Judas, the brother of James, and Judas Iscariot, which also was the traitor, right? So you had two Judases. So sometimes Judas is made to be like an evil name because of Iscariot, the traitor. But Judas is a prominent name. You know, same thing you read in the Apocrypha with Judas Maccabees. It's the same thing that you'll read it in the name. That's why when I read it in Hebrew, it was Yehoiada. Yehoiada came up twice. That's how you say Judah, and Judas is the same name, just in different forms, writing it from the ancient to the modern. Judah and Judas is the same thing. Judah is Yehoiada. Judas is Yehoiada. Same thing. It's the same thing like how you see Elias, right, with the S at the end. Then you see Elijah in the Old Testament with the H at the end. You read Judah in the Old Testament, you'll see with the H. You read Judas, here it has the S, but it's the same thing, right? Same name. All right. You got your hand up, Zakar?
Oh, no. I'm trying to move his head to the left right.
Okay. Verse 17. And he came down with them and stood in the plain and the company of his disciples, and a great multitude of people out of all Judea and Jerusalem, and from the sea coast of Tyre and Sidon, which came to hear him and to be healed of their diseases. And they that were vexed with unclean spirits, and they were healed, right? So time passes on, his name, his prominence goes out, he's teaching, he's healing. People are coming from all over, from the Judea throughout the city, from Jerusalem throughout the city, even on the sea coast, up there by where we know it to be somewhere near Lebanon. That area back then, you had Israelites and them, all the people coming from those areas to come hear about this man, Yahushua, that's healing. Oh, I'm going to bring my son, I'm going to bring my daughter or my mother, and we're going to hear this teaching, right? It says in verse.
Yeah, I was thinking about, the scribes and the Pharisees, they don't have that multitude like that.
Right.
And, yeah, and they're not easily accessible like Yahushua.
Right.
So he's out there, Yahushua, he's out there in the streets, in the fields, out there, people able to touch him and everything. The scribes and the Pharisees, they're like,
you
at a certain point that you can't even.
Yeah, you got to go to the synagogue to even see them or hear them, and they only come out in certain times when they want to, prostrate and flex and do everything else and get the people to look at them a certain way. Where Yahushua was in the midst of everybody, going through all the different cities, places where he knew he wasn't going to be accepted, he still went there, right, and for free, right. Places where people he knew people was going to chastise him about. Why are you eating over there? I'd never be caught up in that house. I'd never be caught over there, right? He was there, right? And people loved him for it. He had a big following. Verse 18. And they that were vexed with unclean spirits, and they were healed. And the whole multitude sought to touch him, for there went virtue out of him and healed them all. So now as he's walking, like we read before, when Yahushua was walking with the disciples, and it says, and the throng came upon him. And that mean the throng, meaning everybody was touching and grabbing on him. And then as they're touching and grabbing on him, Yahushua he said he felt virtue leave him. And he asked him, who touched me? And he was like, what? Everybody touching you, Yahushua. What are you talking about? And he said, no, I felt virtue come out of me. I felt virtue leave me, right? Because now that's this person's faith has now shown to Yahushua that out of the mist, you have some that are doing this, but then this one person is sincere. You can read about that in Mark 5. Mark 5. And 27. Actually, I'm gonna start at 25. Or if you can read that, Bible Kashaf.
And a certain woman which had an issue of blood 12 years, and had suffered many things of many physicians, and had spent all that she had, and was nothing better, but rather grew worse. When she had heard of Jesus, came in the press behind and touched his garment. For she said, if I may touch but his clothes, I shall be whole. And straightway the fountain of her blood was dried up, and she felt in her body that she was healed of that plague. And Jesus, immediately knowing in himself that virtue had gone out of him, turned him about in the press and said, who touched my clothes? Mm-hmm. And the disciples said unto him, thou seest the multitude thronging thee, and saying thou, who touched me?
Right. It's funny because it's like these are a whole bunch of people walking about. I remember the thing that comes to my mind is when Muhammad Ali, I forget where he was, and he was walking. I don't know if it was when he had that fight with Frazier over in he was Frazier or Foreman over in Zaire, and he's walking to the people, and there's a whole bunch of people that's around him, and they all touching him. Yahushua is going through the same thing, and it's like, who touched me? You got the disciples, you know, they still youthful, they still young in this discipline of being a servant of the Most High through Yahushua. They're like, wait, you see all these people in Yahushua touching you, asking who touched you? Like, how we didn't know, right? But Yahushua's answer is because it's on a more spiritual level, because he's like, I felt something different come out of me when this person touched me, right? Read.
And he looked round about to see her that had done this thing. But the woman, fearing and trembling, knowing what was done in her, came and fell down before him and told him all the truth.
Right. So now as he's asking this, she's standing there and is kind of fearful, realizing that she was just now made whole because she had faith to touch Yahushua to heal her, right? So now as he's looking for her, she realizes it comes and drops down and falls right before Yahushua and just starts confessing, right? Read.
And he said unto her, daughter, thy faith has made thee whole. Go in peace and be whole of thy plague.
Right. So again, the faith of an individual is the beginning of why you will receive that blessing, that healing, right? And then you get guidance and teaching to follow on as far as for what you need to do moving forward. I think it was a few weeks back when we went through that Yahweh Kanan as far as for how Yahushua got back to the temple to the man who got healed and said, make sure you don't sin no more unless a worse thing is going to happen to you. right? She was dealing with this for 12 years. Uncontrollable, she couldn't, so that means she was like constantly just being unclean. 12 years of issue of blood is coming, and then you don't know what health-wise that does to you, right?
No relationship with any man whatsoever.
Yep.
You have to stay by herself.
Mm-hmm.
So
and then
she can come to the temple or any peace or anything.
Right. And then you have it where, imagine if you have a sickness or illness and you go everywhere, right? You don't pray, you don't went to the doctors, and nothing happens for 12 years. You're going through this for 12 years, and then here comes the Messiah. So, this is where you come into that patience, where sometimes going through those things, and now imagine how she must feel now that she's healed by Yahushua. She could have been healed 2 years prior by a regular doctor, right? Now, if someone would have given her the opportunity, the chance, and says, will you take it to be healed by the physician? Or would you rather wait until Yahushua comes, the Son of Man, the first creation by the Most High, to stand before him, to feel his power to heal you, or you get the other one, right? That's an interesting choice, right? 2 years wait from a doctor, 12 years wait from Yahushua, right? Because there's a lot of lessons that you learn in the midst of that struggle, in the midst of that pain. You learn more about yourself. You start building character, right? You start to now go through the ups and downs of who you are and what your strengths and your weaknesses are. And then you receive that reward of that gift of healing, right? Sometimes it's hard for us to see that when we're going through opposition or we're going through our tribulations in the moment, right? So let's go back to Luke 6. We just read, that was what?
19. Down to 34.
So now back to Luke 6
19 20.
and 20.
Yeah, we gave it.
And it reads, it says, and he lifted up his eyes on his disciples and said, blessed be ye poor, for yours is the kingdom of God, right? So it says, as he's out there coming down from the mount, previously praying, and he has all the people there healing and teaching, now he's about to give blessings or what they call the Beatitudes to the congregation, right? First thing is, blessed be ye poor, for yours is the kingdom of God. So write down 2 verses. Matthew's the 5th chapter. Third verse. Uh-huh.
5:3.
5:3. And then Isaiah 66. Y'all can if you can read those two. Matthew 5:3, Isaiah 66 and 2.
Which one you gonna do first?
Matthews.
Why we gave it what you other you want in it? You first.
Oh, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Matthew 5.
Mm-hmm.
5 and what?
3.
3.
Matthew 5 and 3. Blessed are the poor in spirit,
Mm-hmm.
for theirs is the kingdom of heaven.
Right. For the poor in spirit, not so much just the poor, because you can have someone who's poor and don't give a damn about the Most High, Yahushua, anything else.
Right.
But then you got to have the right spirit in order to receive this blessing. So blessed are the poor in spirit, right? So now what kind of spirit is that? Now let's go to Isaiah 66.
And 2.
66
and 2.
2.
Mm-hmm.
Isaiah 66 and 2. For all those things had mine hand made, And all those things have been, said the Lord. But to this man will I look, even to him that is poor and of a contrite spirit, and trembleth at my word.
Right. A poor and contrite spirit. What's a contrite spirit? What does it mean to be contrite?
Psalm 51. No, I said Psalm 51.
Psalm 51. Oh yeah, that's the scripture prayer.
It says contrite.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. 51. What verse? Behold, I will sharpen iniquity
Contrite spirit.
What does it say?
Penitent, showing remorse.
Verse 17.
17. The same place of God or a broken spirit, a broken against. That's it right there. And a contribute heart. Oh God, that was not try.
Contrite heart. So it's repeating it, but the definition that what Gabar gave, it says feeling remorse, right? For a shortcoming or a sin, right? Affected by guilt, like you feel a way based on your actions. So you feel remorseful for what you've done, right? Remember, that's why John the Baptist and Yahushua, as they went out to teach, they said to do what? Repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. To repent, you got to feel remorseful. You got to feel a way about the actions that you've just done, the trespass that you've done to the Most High, the trespass that you've done to your brother, right? That's how your spirit now is allowed to be changed, to be able to receive the spirit. If you got a prideful spirit, if you don't care about what the things that you've done and say, oh man, that's nothing, then that blessing ain't gonna come to you, right? If you were someone who took advantage of your brothers and your sisters, sold drugs, robbed them directly or indirectly, they don't know that you was taking advantage of them, and now it comes to light about what type person you are and who your people are and what you should be doing to them, and you don't feel bad, then you're not of the right spirit. That's the only type spirit that the Most High said he's looking for, right? So that was Matthew 5:3, Isaiah 66:2, to go with verse 20 as it pertains to blessed be ye poor. And it talks about the poor in spirit. And when we talks about the spirit, it's talking about those who have a contrite spirit. So reading on, it says, blessed are ye that hunger now, for ye shall be filled. Blessed are you that weep now, for ye shall laugh, right? So those who are yearning and looking for to be fed, or mourning and looking to have the joys, that will happen to you in due time, right? I know with wisdom comes sorrow, as Solomon said. So now you're going through these things, but don't worry. We're gonna reap the benefits of this later on. Go to Isaiah 65. Isaiah 65 and 13. Mm-hmm.
Okay, therefore, thus saith the Lord God, behold, my servant shall eat, and ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed.
Mm-hmm. Keep going.
Behold, my servant shall sing joy of heart, but ye shall cry for sorrow of heart. It shall house the vexation.
Mm-hmm. Right. So all the things that folks are going through now are living it up and enjoying it while doing those things that are not acceptable by the Most High. And those who are the servants of the Most High, right now, they're not getting the best of things from the world. But don't worry. My servants shall eat in that day, and you're going to be the one that's going to be hungry. My servants shall drink, and you're going to be left thirsty, right? So right now, we're eating spiritually. We're getting that knowledge. We're getting that wisdom, and we feel good about ourselves. We're drinking that water, right? Like Christ says, out of your belly shall flow rivers of living water. Well, we're taking it in right now, and then we're going to give it out to those who lack, right? It says, my servants shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed, right? We are never should be ashamed if we study and understand the will of the Most High. That's why I said 2 Timothy 2:15, study to show thyself approved, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed. That shouldn't be us. That should be everybody else. Let them stand confounded, not knowing who they are, not knowing who their power is, not knowing who their savior is, not knowing who their enemy is, not knowing what their doctrine is. Right? All of these things are what is confounding the rest of us now. But that shouldn't happen to us. We're going to be the ones joy of heart when we start to see prophecies and events start to take place, because now that's bringing us closer and closer to our glory. Right? And then at that day it says, but ye shall cry for sorrow of heart and shall howl for vexation of spirit. Right? Talking about those who don't receive this, or those who are not a part of his servants. They're going to be privy to those types of things that they're now going to see is going to be the opposite of how they feel now, right? So that was Isaiah 65:13-14. To link up with verse 21. Verse 22 now. Blessed are ye when men shall hate you, and when they shall separate from you their company, and shall reproach you, and cast your name as evil for the Son of Man's sake, right? So when you go out there and you stand for, or you represent the Most High in Christ, people are going to reject you. They're going to murmur behind your back, talk about what you became and what type of person you are, and start to embellish on the wicked side about what you stand for and things of that nature, not knowing the truth, right? So that's what's going to happen. You can read about that, Wisdom of Solomon. Third chapter. First verse to the I'm going to read this all the way through to the 10th verse, because all this kind of applies to what we just read. So Wisdom of Solomon, page 59, chapter 3, verse 1. It says, but the souls of the righteous are in the hands of God, or in the hand of God, and there shall no torment touch them. Right? So if you're righteous, the Most High will protect you from the evils that will come to everyone else. In the sight of the unwise, they seem to die. Those who don't have this truth, they can't comprehend what type of person you are. So it's like you're dying in front of them. But the way you used to be ain't that way no more, because the things that you used to do, you're not doing those things no more. So it says, in the sight of the unwise, they seem to die, and their departure is taken for misery. And they're going from us to be utter destruction, but they are in peace, right? We are at rest now, but it doesn't appear that way on the outside. It says, verse 4, for though they be punished in the sight of men, yet is their hope full of immortality, right? So yet we go through the things that we go through by standing and advocating for what we stand with the truth. Our hope is still for immortality to come. Having been a little chastised, they shall be greatly rewarded, for God proved them and found them worthy for himself. As gold in the furnace hath he tried them, and received them as a burnt offering. And in the time of their visitation, they shall shine and run to and fro like sparks among the stubble. So when that time comes for the reckoning, those righteous are going to be the ones that's going to be shining, going through in the earth, whithersoever the Most High's will has it. They shall judge the nations and have dominion over the people, and their Lord shall reign forever. They that put their trust in him shall understand the truth, and such as be faithful in love shall abide with him, for grace and mercy is to his saints, and he hath care for his elect. But the ungodly shall be punished according to their own imaginations, which have neglected the righteous and forsaken the Lord. Right? And it goes on down further on. But this is, again, is what Yahushua is alluding to as well. The blessings to those who are mourning now, you'll laugh later. Who hunger now, you'll be fed later. Who thirst now, you'll drink later. Like all of these things now is to now encourage them to keep going on, to keep steady in the race, right? To keep steady and confident, because the end goal is there. Your reward is coming. Blessings to you. The kingdom is for you. But if you stop, if you don't accept, if you don't listen, if you don't hear, then this is the fate that's going to come to those who are on the outside. All right. So that's Wisdom of Solomon 3, 1 to 10. You can write down Wisdom of Solomon 2. I'm going to read verse 12, where it says, therefore, these are those who are in the world. Therefore, let us lie in wait for the righteous, right? So this is what they conspire to do. This guy think he knows something about the Bible. Wait till he come around. I got something for him. I'm going to stump him with a question, or I'm going to try to set a trap for him or a snare. It says, therefore, let us lie in wait for the righteous, because he is not for our turn. He is clean contrary to our doings. You're always coming around here talking about what we shouldn't do and how we should act and what the judgment of the Lord is going to be. He ain't for us. Because all he come to do is pointing the finger and talking down to us. He upbraideth us with our offending the law, and objective to our infamy, the transgressions of our education, right? So they're not literally saying this, but this is what they're saying indirectly. When any of the righteous come amongst them and tries to teach them, rebuke them from the wrongdoings that they're doing, this is the type of vibe that they receive back. This is what's being reciprocated, right? Now I'm gonna stop there. The whole chapter kind of goes into that, but I'm gonna stop there. So going back to Luke 6. And 23. Rejoice ye in that day and leap for joy, for behold, your reward is great in heaven. For in the like manner did their fathers unto the prophets, right? So the same rejection, the same tribulation that you're catching now is the same thing that happened to the prophets back in their day, right? Write down Acts 7. '51. Mm-hmm. It says, ye stiff-necked and uncircumcised in heart and ears, you do always resist the Holy Ghost, as your fathers did so do ye. Meaning your forefathers. It says, verse 52, which of the prophets have not your fathers persecuted? And they have slain them which show before of the coming of the just one, of whom ye have now been now the betrayers and murderers, who have received the law by the disposition of angels and have not kept it, right? So the same things that happened in the past to the prophets from the past are the same spirits here now at the present during the apostles' time, and what things happened to them as well as Yahushua. They did what? Persecute the prophets. Persecuted Yahushua, persecuted John, persecuted the rest of the apostles. Peter, Bartholomew, Thomas, all of them faced persecution. Even Paul, as you read later on in the Acts of Paul, he faced persecution, right? So this is something consistent that has always happened, and then you always have those people or individuals who are the instigators to go and persecute those who are righteous. So I stopped at 53. Now let's go back
25.
to 24. It says, but woe unto you that are rich, for ye have received your consolation, right? So it says, woe unto you that are rich. What is that talking about?
It's not talking about money.
Hmm?
It's not talking about money, right?
Are you asking? I'm asking. You asking?
I'm telling you.
Oh,
That it's talking about money.
It's not talking about.
It's not talking about money. Okay. What is it talking about?
High-minded.
Being high-minded. Zakar?
I'm really puzzled on this.
Puzzle?
Very honest.
It's a lie. Yeah, so I wasn't saying no money.
It's okay to be. It's okay to be rich.
It ain't okay. Jesus ain't worried about the money.
That's what my answer is based on. It's okay to be rich.
Mm-hmm.
We ain't talking about money. I'm about rich in another way.
Revelation 2:9.
So let's go to Luke 12.
Oh, yeah. Do what?
12. I'm going to start at 16. Luke 12 and 16. It says, and he spake a parable unto them, saying, the ground of a certain rich man brought forth plentifully. And he thought within himself, saying, what shall I do? Because I have no room where to bestow my fruits. And he said, this will I do. I will pull down my barns and build greater. And there will I bestow all my fruits and my goods. And I will say to my soul, soul, thou hast much goods laid up for many years. Take thine ease, eat, drink, and be merry. But Yahweh said unto him, thou fool, this night thy soul shall be required of thee. Then who shall those things be which thou hast provided? So is he that layeth up treasure for himself and is not rich toward God, right? So now his heart was in what? His actual possessions. His heart wasn't in the Most High, because I heard someone said is there's nothing wrong to be rich, but you got to have your treasure or have your riches with the Most High, right? To know how to properly do things that are gonna be in legal what the Most High wants you to do. Drop that. Go to 1 Timothy. 1 Timothy 6. 1 Timothy 6 and 17. So it says in 1 Timothy 6:17, you got it, Zakar? Read that loud.
Charge them that are rich in this world, that they be not high-minded.
Right. So it says, those that are rich, this is the guidance. Don't be high-minded, because that's what happens. People get a lot of money. Now they thought to get prideful and big-headed, and they above everybody, right? So don't get high-minded when you get a lot of money or you get a lot of riches or you have a lot of possessions or wealth. Read.
Okay, we come from. High-minded. No trust in uncertain riches.
Nor trust in uncertain. Why does it say uncertain riches?
Because it be like bad riches.
Because it could be bad riches or
Stealing.
Huh?
Stealing.
Stealing. What else?
Drugging.
No, but this is something that a person has, right? This is something that you have. Why does it say don't put your trust in uncertain riches? Kanan.
Proverbs 23:5. Will thou set thine eyes upon that which is not? For riches certainly make themselves wings. They fly away as an eagle toward heaven.
What is that?
Proverbs 23:5.
Proverbs 23:5. So what that says is, here today, going tomorrow.
Jump off a bridge.
You done put all your trust and hope in that money, that rich, that wealth, that gold, that house, that mansion, that car, and all of a sudden it gets taken away. Then what? Right? Now you crushed, right? Now you demoralized. Now you can't function, right? It's like the whole world was gone. You got some who half their riches is taken away, and now it's like they destroyed, they demoralized. Half, you still got 5 million. Right? So because they put their trust there, and when it's taken away, they have nothing to stand on. Their whole foundation was built upon money. That's why, or other things, fame. That's why you see a lot of people who are rich. Look at their mind state. In order to function, guess what they got to do? They're on drugs, they're on alcohol, they're on all kind of things, whether it's legal drugs, illegal drugs, alcohol, substances. They're doing all kind of things just to cope, because that is not stable. You on top today, all of a sudden, one headline will bring that all down to the ground. One headline. You could be riding on cloud 9 and then be on the bottom of -4, wherever you at, right? Because it's unstable. So you can't put your trust there. So it says again, verse 17, read it again.
It says, curse them that are rich in this world, that they be not high-minded, nor trust in uncertain riches, but in the living God who giveth us richly all things to enjoy.
Right. But don't put it in those things, put it in the Most High. He give us everything that we need to enjoy, and then some, right? He shows us if we wait and we do what is necessary, like King Solomon, he'll give you not only just the wisdom that we're getting now, but we'll get then some, a whole bunch more actual riches, because we'll know what to do with them. Read.
That they do good, that they be rich in good works, ready to distribute, willing to communicate.
Right, ready to distribute. The person that we just read in that parable, he wasn't distributing anything. He amassed so much, he couldn't put it in his barn. And he said, what? I'm going to bring it all down. I'm going to build even greater to put more stuff in. Then he sat back and said, so look at all what you got. You got enough stuff in here to eat for many years to come. Take thy ease, sit back, eat, and enjoy, right? He ain't giving to nobody. Remember, we was reading in the Apocrypha about somebody who's a niggard at the table. He ain't willing to share. He's envious to himself. That person don't even want to look at somebody else even measuring up to him. Oh, I got to get more. He got $1 million. I got to get 3. He got 5. I gotta get 20, right? And then it's like, yo, can you come down here to this charity event and help out or help feed the poor? He'll give out like $1,000. Like $1,000. This guy got $650-something million. He gave $1,000. He gave a $25,000, and people are like, oh, he gave a $25,000 check. Man, you know how much stuff he got? He's not ready to distribute or willing to distribute to help out. He's not even putting forth the effort. He may write the check. Let's just say he gave $100,000. He put in the check, but he's not putting forth the real effort to come and walk with his people, to come and talk with them, to understand where they're hurting, to understand their pitfalls, to try to get them. He's not doing that. He's still sitting back there, making more money. And say, yeah, I'll get him that. Mom would say, yeah, that's good. He gave $100,000. But it's the intention. Is it a tax write-off? Is it just for show because people is looking to see what he's going to do? Or is it sincere? Right? So read on.
Okay. Verse 19. Line up in store for themselves a good foundation against the time to come, that they may lay hold on eternal life.
Right. So it says laying up in store for themselves a good foundation. Not laying up in store all your stuff in this barn and you done built the doggone factory to hold. That's not what you're storing up. You're trying to store up alms. You're trying to store up good works. So when the day of reckoning comes, you can receive them. Remember when we read in Tobit, what happened? Tobit was going out there doing a lot of good works. But then what happened when he fell short, the people helped him out because he was always doing that for everybody else. So now here it is, he falls into a circumstance and he's dealing with it, but now they paying it forward. If you was a person who ain't never want to help nobody, you turned up your chin and you turned your back on folks. Now when that happens to you, you ain't got no good foundation because now people are going to be very reluctant to want to help you out, right? The Most High is not going to want to deal with you because how you dealt with him and everybody else. All right, that's it on that. Yeah, 1 Timothy 6, 17 and 19. Now, let's go back to Luke 6. What verse we at? 25. So it says, woe unto you that are full, for ye shall hunger. Woe unto you that laugh now, for ye shall mourn and weep. Woe unto you when all men shall speak well of you, for so did their fathers to the false prophets. So it's the same thing that we was reading in Isaiah 65 as far as for the servants, what things the Most High was going to do for his servants, and those who disregarded the Lord, what would happen to them and what would be their fate. Some people are comfortable right now. Some people have no problem. I watched the other day, I think it was yesterday, an old lady on a train got kicked and punched. You seen that?
Yeah.
I saw it one time and I said, oh my God.
I didn't even look at it. Old lady.
Yeah, old lady sitting in the corner on the train. A brother came and kicked her in the face. Like, yeah, like
No reason whatsoever.
New York.
That's kind of what we're about to get into, right? One would say, like, if she said something, because when you watch the video, you don't know if she said, and then she's an old lady sitting there in the corner.
Right.
And he came over there and hauled off and actually like kicked her. Then kicked her again in the chest. And I'm like, oh man, I'm watching it. And I'm kind of in my mind, I'm like wanting to lunge through the screen to go grab this brother up. But it's like, man, how can we be so insensitive and comfortable doing these types of things in this day and age? Yeah, I seen the thing and I watched it.
What happened? Did she fall down?
No, she was sitting down. She was sitting in the chair in the corner on the train. Yeah, she grabbed her, she grabbed her face after he kicked her, but it's like, dang, man. Yeah.
78.
Yeah.
She was 78. Imagine 78, man.
Like that the older, because we're supposed to look at an older woman as our mother.
Yeah, right.
Yep. That's why my mom ain't even 78 years old. And I don't even think she'd be able to take that kick that he gave her like that.
Well, I got an aunt that I want to kick right
No,
She 82 and I want to kick her. But no, she all right.
Wouldn't even say, would the Lord would even say something like that?
Yeah.
How did he even jest?
Old school ways, I mean, you may not have had a liking for certain people because of how they act or conduct themselves, but you was brought up to use like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna still give them a certain respect as an elder person to a certain degree. I'm gonna walk away. I ain't gonna say nothing. I ain't gonna disrespect them. Right? I ain't gonna wild out or cause a scene or act out. Act out. You got people now who go way beyond and above acting out. Like you seeing certain things now. It's just ridiculous.
Several times.
Yeah.
Did they catch you?
I don't know. I didn't hear anything about the.
He didn't look like no bum or nothing, right?
No. Mm-hmm.
I ain't got no problem.
So reading on verse 27, but I say unto you which hear, love your enemies, do good to them which hate you, right? So it says, love your enemies, do good to them which hate you. What is that referencing? A car. Love your enemies, do good to them which hate you. Huh?
yeah, we did in some kind of way. God said about hate, abhor to hate. Deuteronomy 23:7. But anyway, about hating this thing right here. But I'm saying to you, which here, love your enemies, do good to them which hate you.
Mm-hmm.
You shouldn't, first of all, you're supposed to be hating nobody. We was talking about Esau yesterday, me and you.
Mm-hmm.
Abhor, I circled it.
But then we read it, and then we read when David and the rest of them said, hey, I hate them with a perfect hatred.
Yeah, right.
Right?
So
time went on. But here it says, love your enemies and do good to them which hate you. This is not you hating them. This is them hating you and doing good to them which hate you.
Leave them alone. And just keep going on with your stuff.
When he speaks on enemies,
right,
he's only speaking on the enemies of Israel. He's not talking about these other nations being enemies.
That's where I wanted to go.
That's
what we're saying. Because when you read this, this is Yahushua speaking to the multitude, right? And then now at a different point in time, he explains who your enemies are. Whole list, go to Matthew 10. Matthew 10 and 35.
It says, what will come? He said a man at
variance
against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And a man foes shall be they of his own household.
Right. So now, hold on. So now he says, I'm coming to set at variance. Who?
Variance. Okay, a difference.
There you go. A difference or at odds from you, right? You're not on the same page. You're disagreeing on certain things. So now when Christ comes, he's saying, look, that's what I'm going to do when I now come to a household. This person's going to believe, but not the other. So now they're going to have a conflict, right? Read.
36. Okay, I read that, didn't I? Okay, and a man foe shall be they of his own household.
Which means what?
Oh, an enemy.
Uh-huh. What else does that mean? A man foe shall be there of his own household.
A leader?
Mm-mm.
This is mine.
What's your household?
Yours.
Your brother, your sister,
yeah, your family, right? Your household is your family. Somebody said, where you live? Who in your household? Oh, I got my mom there, my this there. So now your foes are your enemies. Those who have variance with you are those of your own household. A foe is the same as an enemy. So now here it is. You got a brother who ain't feeling what you're dealing with. You got a mother who ain't feeling what you're dealing with. A daughter who ain't feeling what you're dealing with. Now y'all on opposite ends. Now y'all enemies one to another in your own household. Not enemies that y'all fighting each other, y'all want to kill each other, but now enemies that the other person is opposed to the things that you stand for, opposed to Christ and the Most High, opposed to the law, and will sometimes do things just to bait you or do things just to upset you. So now you battling with that in your own household. So now while you at odds with that individual or individuals, plural, you got to still conduct yourself a certain way. But finish that out.
37. He that loves father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. And he that loves son and daughter more than me is not worthy of me. And he that
you gotta speak up so they can hear you on the conference.
Read again?
Yep.
He that loves father and mother more than me is not worthy. And he that loves son and daughter more than me is not worthy of me.
Right. So that's the decision. So now when you have them at odds or at variance with you, would you choose them over the truth of the Most High in Christ? What you know is better, but because of the love and adoration that you want to get from them, you say, all right, well, fine, I give in to what they want to do. I give in to going and following and doing the things that they want me to do and eat the things they want to eat. That's what that is. But now, again, the main part about this is these are your now enemies. So when we go back to Luke 6:27, but I say unto you, which hear, not everybody can hear this and receive it. It's only for those who have that spiritual eyes and ears. Love your enemies, do good to them which hate you. So your enemies are those of your own household. Love them. Love them meaning what? Continue to teach them. Show forth a good example. Love ain't just talking about giving hugs and kisses. Love is what? The commandments. Continue to rebuke and show them the right way while they're doing these things, right? And it says, and do good to them which hate you. We're not looking for eye for an eye, meaning this person done cursed me out, so I'm going to curse them out. This person done robbed from me, I'm going to rob from them, right? That's not what the Most High Christ wants us to do. We should not render evil for evil, but render good to them that do these things to you. Yahweh Kanan.
Yeah, also I want to read Romans 12 and 18. I'm going to read it quickly. Romans 12 and 18. If it be possible, as much as lieth in you, live peaceably with all men. So we should somewhat have some kind of peace in living with people, you know.
In your own house.
I mean, with all men, with everybody, so you can able to live in your apartment, live in the building, live in your neighborhood. So not people try to attack you all the time or something, you know, not to be so that people hate you so much that they want to come and attack you like that.
Now, you said of your own household, your enemies. How about the niggas down the street?
Household meaning when Christ said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the what?
House.
There you go. There you go. That's what we're talking about.
Oh, and those niggas down the street too.
Yeah. They of the house of Israel. They of our household. The 12 tribes is of our house. Right? Ain't that what your house said? Right. It's not just talking about your house, your own house, because you could be somebody who ain't got no family in your house. You can say, "Oh, I ain't got no family, so I ain't got to love nobody." No, it's talking about the house of Israel. Right. Y'all can.
Yeah, because sometimes we have this is like in Jamaica. We say, "What's up, brethren?" It could be not be your brother,
right?
But it could be, you know,
not your physical, you know, paternal brother, but just someone of your kindred.
Yeah,
right. Exactly.
You say, "What's up, brethren?"
Right. So I want to make sure our heart, you know, when it says love your enemies, it doesn't mean that you just like a pushover, like anything they say or do to you, you just accept it. No. Again, love, like it says in 1 John 5:3 is what? But this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments. That's love. That's showing forth all of the different aspects that we learn from the scriptures. That's how we deal with one another, right? It tells us in the scriptures, go to Leviticus 19, I believe. Leviticus 19, 17.
Chapter 17.
19.
19:17.
Right.
Thou shalt not hate thy brother. Let me know when you get there. Come. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thy heart. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor, body, and not suffer sin upon him. Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudges against the children of thy people. But thou shalt love thy neighbors as thyself. I am the Lord.
Right. So now when you go to 17, thou shalt not hate thy brother in thy heart, right? Sometimes people hate other people without cause, just because of the type of person he is and how other people look at him. Why he got to get that and why I ain't getting that? Why she looking at him that way and she ain't looking at me, right? Now you hate him because he's receiving that type of light or that type of shine. Why he got that car, right? Why he got that house? Why he got that job, right? So now envy breeds hate toward a certain. Lord said you shouldn't do that to your brother. Don't have hate for your brother. Have love. Be happy that that brother got that job. Be happy that that brother got that house or that car, especially if he's in righteousness. That's where you flip it, right? We've been taught to always be in competition with one another. Always want to compete against one of our own, not against Esau, not against Moab, not against Elam, but with one another. So when Elam succeeds, we don't care. When Esau succeeds, we don't care. When Ishmael succeeds, we don't care. But when of our own succeed, it's like, why he had to be the one chosen to get that position, right? Because a lot of us ain't going to get it. It's like maybe one or a few. Damn, I didn't get it. He got it. Who is he? Now you looking at him up and down. You check. Yeah, find his fault. So you can now go behind, like in the verse behind, up above. Don't be a talebearer. Now you're going to start gossiping behind his back about he ain't really that type person and everything else. That's hate towards you. We shouldn't be that way. Then it says, thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor, right? Meaning you're supposed to rebuke your neighbor. Meaning when he does something wrong or she does something wrong, check him. Let him know. You know that ain't right. Shouldn't be smoking that. Shouldn't put that on your body like that. Shouldn't wear that. Why are you supporting that? You know the Most High hate that, right? That's what it's talking about. Thou shalt rebuke thy neighbor. So when it talks about loving your enemies, it's exuding all this that we read in the scriptures. That's how you show love, by keeping the commandments. So this is a commandment. You go and show love to your brother, your family, your household, not just going up and giving hugs and turning your back. What's that verse where it says, it's in Proverbs. Yeah. Not that it's okay. That's what he wants you to do, right? Proverbs 27:5 says, open rebuke is better than secret love. 27:5. Proverbs 27:5. Open rebuke, meaning when you openly, publicly tell somebody, it don't have to be in the midst of everybody. You can go and do it in confidentiality. Pull them to the side, right? But that you're letting them know. Secret love is you don't say anything. Right? That's what the Yahweh Shah is comparing. You may feel that they're wrong, but you don't say anything. That's why the advice is that open rebuke is better than that secret love. All right, so let's go back to Luke 6. Did I read 28? I don't think I read 28. I'll read it just in case.
Yeah, sure.
It says, bless them that curse you and pray for them which despitefully use you, right? Now it's like with Balak trying to send Balaam in numbers to come and curse Israel. We wasn't going to go out there and try to bless Balak because his intention was to wholeheartedly curse us. But this is talking about those that's within Israel. Bless them that curse you. Remember when Christ was on the cross, what did he say? Father, forgive them. They don't know what they're doing, right? He wasn't really talking about the Romans. He was talking about his people because they were the ones, his own people, the ones that gave him up to the Romans. Pharisees, and then they conspired amongst the congregation of the people to go and give up Yahushua. Right. But this is the type of advice that Yahushua is giving. Those that curse you within your people, bless them. Pray for them that they understand and see the right way. 29, and unto him that smiteth thee on the one cheek, offer also the other. And to him that taketh away thy cloak, forbid not to take thy coat also. Right? Meaning, give a space for opportunity, for repentance. Right? So that you'll come and do it again. We was talking about this before, where it's like when we deal with our own and we got wrong and we get wronged by them, we quick to cut them off. That's like you got me, you do me wrong one time, that's it. But Esau and them do it to us all the damn time. And we continue to forgive and we continue to come back with open arms. But we don't do that to us, to our own, right? That's that philosophy. Look, when somebody done transgressed you or wronged you, listen, give them another chance. Give them another shot. Be as willing and compassionate with them as you are with the ones who continually got their foot on your neck. To the point where, that's why we were talking about it this evening in class, when something is going wrong with them, we the first ones to come in and champion. It's like, no, don't do that to them. Don't say that to them. And you're like, wait, how you fighting and champion for them, but you won't fight and champion that for your own people when something like that is happening amongst us? Right? Doesn't make any sense, right? 30, give to every man that asketh of thee, and of him that taketh away thy goods, ask them not again. So when you're now in a position where you can help, even to those that may have wronged you, listen, help them out. Sometimes good deeds may turn a person's spirit. Right. They may look at them like, damn, this brother, man, he always been straight up, even after we done him wrong. I remember back in the day how we used to do him, but look, he's still willing to help us out. He came and helped my grandmother out. He ain't had to do that, but he did. I damn sure wouldn't have done it for him, but he did it for me. And it may change someone's thinking, right? When you now have always continually been open and transparent to help each other out, it may help a brother see the right way. It says, and as ye would that men should do to you, do ye also to them likewise, right? So that's the key in this. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. So now when you're in a position that you would want to seek help, or you would think that you want to seek help, how would you want to be helped? That's what you should do for them. How would you think that you would want to be guided? Do that for them. You may not be in this position today, but tomorrow you might be, right? So now you want to help that person out the same way if in the future you in that circumstance, that you receive the same reciprocation that others would do the same for you. That's being your brother's keeper. That's what Yahushua is looking at. It says, for if ye love them which love you, what thank have ye? For sinners also love those that love them. This is the difficult part right here. Yahushua is bringing out, right? Sometimes we only deal with those who we flex with, right? I'm only cool and I only do for those who I'm cool with. That's it. Them guys over there, and the hell with them. They done said this, that, and the third. I ain't doing nothing. I don't care about them. I'm only going to do for me and mine. So he says, if you do good to them which do good to you, what thank have ye? For sinners also do even the same. So what's the difference? Right? You got people who love them and they only look out for each other. Right. You ain't no different from them. And if ye lend to them of whom ye hope to receive, what thank have ye? For sinners also lend to sinners to receive as much again. right? So I'm going to give you this, give you my car, give you my coat, whatever. And then I'm expecting to get it back. But we shouldn't operate like that. We shouldn't be forthcoming to give like that. We should say, you know what? I'm going to give, not looking to receive. I'm just doing because this is the right thing to do. Sometimes people do and hang it over your head. It's like, you know what? You know, I looked you out last week. What's up? Like, you ain't even come. Like, what's up, bro? It's like, and then, you know, sometimes, you know, Israel want to make a person feel small in front of everybody. It's like that, bro. It was like, you know, 2 weeks ago, I took you out. You know what I'm saying? I paid you food for lunch. You would have thought that you would have paid me back, right? Like, dang, I mean, yeah, I appreciated it. But now you're kind of telling me that you really didn't do it. You was waiting to get something in return, right? That shouldn't be. If you put it out, if you're doing good, do good for just the good sake. Don't look for something to be received from man. The best person to give you something in receipt is who? The Most High. Let the Most High reward you. Don't always look to be rewarded from man, right? Let the Lord do it, because when He do it, it's going to be so beautiful. When He looks to reward you for good that you've done, and it comes at a time when you're not expecting it. It's a surprise. It's poignant. It's necessary. All these things make it that much better. Right. It says, but love ye your enemies and do good and lend, hoping for nothing again. And your reward shall be great, and ye shall be the children of the highest. For He is kind and unthankful and to the evil, right? So we always want to make sure that we understand our intentions. Your intentions matter to the Most High. Sometimes it's not seen to others why you do certain things. Sometimes people do it just for show. Right? That's not sincere. If I'm only doing it because I'm going to do it, and I'm going to wait until Gabar is there. I want Gabar to see me do such and such. And then he going to look at me like, oh, that brother's good. Well, I could have gave it to him 2 hours ago when he could have ate it then, or he could have worn it then. But now I'm waiting for Gabar and Yahweh Kanan to appear. And then I'm going to give it to him, make it show up. Like, yo, here you go, brother. You know what I'm saying? I was thinking of you. And the brother going to be like, oh, yeah, that's good. Thank you. That's good right there. And they're going to be like, yeah, man, that's some mockers. But my intentions is all jacked up because I purposely wanted to receive glory from man, right? And not just give them something or do something for somebody because it's the right thing to do. It says, be ye merciful, 36. Be ye therefore merciful as your Father also is merciful. So the same way the Most High is forgiving, we got to forgive too, right? That's a part of the Lord's Prayer. Forgive us of our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us, right? So that's the example. Judge not, and ye shall not be judged. Condemn not, and ye shall not be condemned. Forgive, and ye shall be forgiven. So what is it saying now? It says, judge not, and ye shall be not judged. See, people talking about we ain't supposed to be judging out here. Here's a verse, another verse that says we shouldn't judge. What is this talking about?
You shouldn't judge people.
You shouldn't judge. When it talks about you shouldn't judge people, what does that mean? What does judging someone mean? Like when you judge somebody.
How you feel about them? How they look?
They doing something. They doing something wrong that you think that you perceive as being wrong, right? And you telling them. You tell judging. I think judging is condemning people, right?
Well, that's what we just read. It says, judge not, and ye shall not be judged. Condemn not, and ye shall not be condemned. Yahweh Kanan. For a verse.
First Corinthians 2:15. But
1 Corinthians 2:15.
Yeah. But he that is spiritual judgeth all things, yet he himself is judge of no man.
Explain.
So I mean, I say, you know, when people judge, like how the judge in court, that he would go make a decision and judge and say he gets 6 months in prison and all of that stuff. I mean, execute that judgment.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, you're not gonna judge and condemn anybody. You know, we don't have that power to judge and condemn people, or saying that, oh, you know, to bring out, we're supposed to come out with love, you know.
Mm-hmm. So I don't think that verse is the verse you pulled was what you wanted, what you expounded on. But I'm gonna get Romans 2.
Oh, okay.
Go to Romans 2.
You see it. Point it at him. So you.
Romans 2 and 1.
It says, therefore, y'all with me?
Romans
Right.
2 and 1. Hold on.
Yeah, let's sleep. Let's sleep right through lunch.
They wake up for lunch.
They wake up for lunch. Okay, let me know when you get to your stuff. Romans 2:1. Therefore thou art
Inexcusable.
excusable, O man,
Whosoever.
whosoever thou art that judgest, for wherein thou judgest another, thou commandest
Condemn.
this,
Mm-hmm.
thyself, for thou that judgest doesn't the same,
Doest.
doest the same thing.
Right. So it says, you got no excuse. Therefore thou art excusable, O man, whosoever thou art that judges. For the same things you judging somebody else on, you yourself is doing it. So you condemning your own self. So whatever judgment that you're trying to have placed upon someone else, that should be for you. However, you calling somebody else out and people don't know your own baggage, skeleton that you got in your closet, but you exposing someone else's, right? You'll publicly put it out in the show about what he doing, but maybe a little bit of people know what you're doing, and you want that person to be held accountable for what he's doing, but not you. That's inexcusable, right? So it may be not seen by man, but the Most High sees it, right? Read on.
But we are sure that the judgment of God is according to the truth against them which committed such things.
Right. So we cool on that. For those who do that, we are sure that the Most High, he sees it and he's going to deal with anybody who's doing that type of judging on other individuals that's committing the same offense, right? We put our faith and trust in the Most High that he'll handle it, right? So you may not be aware of it. You don't know if this person is on the up and up or if he's hiding his stuff. This is where that, you know, like in the streets where they talk about, oh, this person's snitching, right? The real definition of snitching is you all out there doing dirt, but you giving him up and ratting out on all what he did, but you was right with him. You let him go get locked up, but you walking out here in the street. You in there talking to the doggone prosecutor and the doggone cops and saying, yeah, he lived here. He did such and such and everything else. And they're like, oh yeah, he probably right down there right now. You can go get him. But both y'all did it. And now you gave him up, you know, and snitched on him to be condemned, locked up, put in prison while you free to go and nobody is holding you accountable for what you did, right? That's not right. Don't worry. The Most High sees what just happened and he going to deal with it, right? Read.
Okay. Verse 3.
Mm-hmm.
And thinkest thou this, O man, that judges them, to do such things and do the same, that thou shalt escape the judgment of God.
Right. You think that's going to happen, that you're going to walk and continue and not fall victim or fall privy to the judgment of the Most High? Read.
Or despisest thou the riches of his goodness and forbearance and long suffering, not knowing that the goodness of God leadeth thee to repentance.
Right. We don't realize this is mercy. This is grace right now. The Most High is always giving you the opportunity of mercy and repentance, right? This is the goodness of God. Sometimes he'll wait. You may be doing something wrong, but he's waiting to see if you're going to level up, if you're going to understand the error in your way and apologize and repent. Read on.
Verse 5. But after thou hardness and patience, heart, treasure up unto thyself wrath against the day of wrath and revelation of the righteous judgment of God. Who will render to every man according to his deed.
Right. So those who hard-headed, when the judgment day comes, the Most High ain't gonna forget all the stuff that you did, how you falsely accused, or how you judge people for you doing the same thing. That's not right. Right. So this is what Yahushua is getting on. He says, "Judge not, and thou shalt not be judged." Meaning, if you doing the same thing, don't go out there and condemn that person over there, because guess what? You're going to be condemned, right? Don't go and have that person locked up for 4 or 5 years and thinking that you got away scot-free. Most High is coming with his own judgment on you. Drop the gavel down. And it may not even be 3, 4 years. It may be something else because you knew what you was doing, right? So let's go back to Luke 6. I'm going to read 37 again and read on. You had a verse? Oh, it says, "Judge not, and ye shall not be judged. Condemn not, and ye shall not be condemned. Forgive, and ye shall be forgiven. Give, and it shall be given unto you. Good measure, pressed down and shaken together and running over, shall men give into your bosom. For with the same measure that ye meet withal, it shall be measured to you again." Right? Going back to that same concept of doing unto others as you would have them do unto you, right? That same spirit that you put out is going to come back. You reap what you sow, right? Out of sincerity, the Lord will have others come back and give you the same thing, or he himself will give you openly. So it says in 39, "And he spake a parable unto them. Can the blind lead the blind? Shall they not both fall into the ditch?" Right? So they're talking about the blind. What's it talking about?
The helpless.
The
helpless.
The helpless ones.
All the blind people are helpless.
Spiritual blinded.
The spiritual blinded, right?
Okay.
The spiritual blinded. Why is he talking about the spiritual blinded? Who are the spiritual blinded?
Our people. And spiritual blinded means you don't know what's going on in the Bible.
You don't know what's going on. You can't see properly, right?
I may be spiritual. I may be spiritual. You used to be. We all did. Oh, okay. I got you here.
Right, because this type of blind is talking about the blind leading the blind, right? So now, if you are leading the blind, that means you're in a position of authority, right? But now you yourself don't know right from wrong. You yourself ain't seeing the goodness of what the Most High and Christ want, and you're just leading them into the error, into a pitfall. So you can write this down. Matthew 15. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go there. Matthew 15 and 10. And I'm gonna read down to 14. So Matthew 15 and 10, it says, "And he called the multitude and said unto them, Hear and understand, not that which goeth into the mouth defileth a man, but that which cometh out of the mouth, this defileth a man," right? Meaning, as far as for your thoughts, the things that you stand for, the things that you teach, that's what's defiled, because it's coming from where? Your spirit or your heart, certain thing that you eat or you consume, you may not know that is defiled, right? But if you do know, your spirit is going to confess that you shouldn't eat it, or your spirit is going to have you want that you should not deal with it. So that's why it's more important about dealing with what comes out of your spirit. So then it says in verse 12, then came his disciples and said unto him, knowest thou that the Pharisees were offended after they heard this saying? So now as Yahushua is teaching, his teaching has layers to it. So he's teaching the people, but he's also condemning others. So now as he's teaching this breakdown, he's teaching this parable, the Pharisees are hearing it and knowing that he's talking about them. So the disciples came back and like, yo, you know, these Pharisees, man, they upset at what you just said. They ain't like that. Right? They ain't take kindly to that, right? Verse 13, but he answered and said, every plant which my heavenly Father have not planted shall be rooted up. Meaning they not of this tree, right? They setting themselves up, but they not really of this tree. So they got to get taken out, moved out of the way. Then he says, let them alone. Who is it them? Those Pharisees. And they be blind leaders of the blind. And if the blind lead the blind, both shall fall into the ditch. Right? So they're the ones that Yahushua is talking about that are now set up to be the leaders of Israel, but they blind, they can't see themselves. Anybody who follow them, they're going to all fall into hell. That's the ditch. That's the reward. Right? So that's Matthew 15, 10 to 14. So now verse 41. Verse 41 now comes back to verse 37. It says, oh, Salak, yeah, I forgot 40, the water. It says, the disciple is not above his master, but everyone that is perfect shall be as his master, right? So here, when it and this is interchangeable. So that's why when you read later on in the New Testament and it talks about servants obey your masters, a lot of times we think of servitude, masters and servants, but this is not the context that this is being talked about. Go to St. John's. Go to St. John's. (13, 16). Right. 13, 16, and then 15 and 20. Because it's talking about the same thing, but it's going to use different words.
And the second one will be
15, 13, St. John. I'm sorry, 15, 20. St. John chapter 13, verse 16, and St. John chapter 15, verse 20. So, right, so St. John 13, 16 says, verily, verily, I say unto you, the servant is not greater than his Lord, neither he that is sent greater than he that sent him. So here it says the servant is not greater than his Lord. When we read before, it says a disciple is not above his master. So the disciple and the servant are in the same context. The master and the Lord are in the same context, right? Yahushua is Lord, right? He's our leader. He's the one that says example. We're the ones who are now followers of Christ. So when it's talking about master, even Nicodemus said, good master, right? In martial arts, what is another word that they call their sensei? Master, right? That's what we see. But he's not like a tyrant over them. He don't have them in slavery. He's just looked at as that leader, right? And then you are the disciple, right? Now, as a servant, you're doing the same thing. You're learning to be a good minister on how to serve, because Yahushua is the minister, right? He's coming to minister unto all of us. We are the ones that they're 12. We was chosen out of the world. Now we got to come and learn, be disciplined in this. Then once you now get to that point, Now you go out there and become a civil servant to the people. You got to go out there and help them out, teach them, feed them, clothe them, both spiritually and physically, right? That's the guidance here. And then John 15 and 20 says the same thing. Remember the word that I said unto you, the servant is not greater than his Lord. If they have persecuted me, they will also persecute you. If they have kept my sayings, they will keep yours also. So the same things what that Yahweh stood for, and others who believed, if you do the same, they'll believe your words too. But then you got people who hated me and persecuted me. If they hate and persecute me, keep in mind, they're going to try and do the same thing to you because we're walking in the same spirit, right? Yep. So that's now what links with verse 40. So now let's go back to verse 41. And it says, and why beholdest thou the mote that is in thy brother's eye, but perceivest not the beam that is in thine own eye? Right? Going back to judging so that you don't be judged. We can easily point out the flaws or the sins or the transgressions in others, but never look in the mirror and see the flaws or the sins or the transgression in yourself. You can easily call somebody else out on their own stuff, but not your own, right? It says, either how canst thou say to thy brother, brother, let me pull out the mote that is in thine eye, when thou thyself beholdest not the beam that is in thine own eye? Thou hypocrite, cast out first the beam out of thine own eye, and then shalt thou see clearly to pull out the mote that is in thy brother's eye, right? So you got to deal with yourself first, right? You can't go out there and judge and condemn others while you're doing the same thing. The verse back in 37 is not saying that you're not supposed to judge, right? We are supposed to judge, but you're not going to go out there and judge and condemn doing the same thing, right? That's not wise.
That's what I mean. What you just said. Okay.
Right. You can't go out there judging someone doing the same thing. We are supposed to judge. That's what it says in St. John 7 and 24.
Can we go past that?
Exactly. It's what Christ said. Judge not according to the appearance. Just don't look at surface. Just don't go based on rumors. Just go based on assumption. It says, but judge righteous judgment. So now you got to make sure and confirm the things that you seeing or hearing before you go and accuse someone of something. You got to do your due diligence. You got to ask questions. You got to inquire. You got to investigate, right? Before you go and say, hey, that person's a prostitute. Person like, I ain't no prostitute. What you talking about? Well, that's what such and such said. My bad. Oh, now you done offended the person because you just went off of rumors. Yeah. Or you can calling someone a homosexual. Listen, you know you ain't supposed to be doing that. You're like, what are you talking about? Well, that's what they said. That's, nah. What you talking about? Oh, they say you like to dress nice. So what's wrong with dressing nice? Right? Well, not that, but no, you know how sometimes they get this whole, they had a whole terminology, metrosexual, because you like to coordinate and dress nice. That means you're a little, you know, but nah, that wasn't it. Oh, my bad, brother. I didn't mean to offend you like that. Right? So you are supposed to judge according to righteous judgment, meaning what's found in the law, what's found in the testimony on how to deal with circumstances or different situations that we read, that we see.
What John was that? John
7:24. So it says in verse 43, for a good tree bringeth not forth corrupt fruit, neither doth a corrupt tree bring forth good fruit. For every tree is known by his own fruit. For of thorns men do not gather figs, nor of a bramble bush gather they grapes, right? So you know what type of a tree you're going to based on knowledge, right? So when you say we need to go gather grapes, You're not expecting to go gather grapes from some thorn bush, right? Or if you're expecting to go get figs, you ain't going to go and stick your hand in something that's got pins sticking out, because that's not what you would expect to receive it from. You know what type of tree is going to bring forth that fruit that you can go and pick and eat. The Most High ain't do it like that for that type of fruit. So you should go to the good tree to get the good fruit.
Right.
Now that tree that got those little thorns, and that's not for you to pick. Don't deal with that. Don't go over there and get that fruit, because it's meant to harm you. It's meant to hurt you, right? It says, a good man out of the good treasure of his heart bringeth forth that which is good, and an evil man out of the evil treasure of his heart bringeth forth that which is evil. For out of the abundance of the heart his mouth speaketh. So this is what we're dealing with when we're talking about dealing with the good tree, or the fruit that comes out, right? We're dealing with his knowledge, what he's teaching, what he's putting forth out there to the world. Is it in accordance with the scriptures? Is it in accordance with the law? Is it in accordance with Yahushua? If it's not, then that's not good knowledge. That's not good fruit. Goes all the way back to Adam and Eve, when the Most High said, of this tree thou can freely eat, but of the tree of good and evil thou shalt not eat. That's where people go put their hand in and get stung and bit. But they continually go back and get stung and bit because they so curious wanting to go and get that fruit, get that strange fruit. And the Lord said, no, I got this good fruit over here. Deal with this. And why call ye me Lord, Lord, and do not the things which I say? Right? How can you say that Christ is your Savior? He's your master, right? He's your Redeemer. But the things that he advises you to do or commands you to do,
your input is invalid.
You buck up against it. You go contrary to it. St. John 14:15 says what? If you love me, keep my commandments. If I'm your Lord, keep my commandments. Plain and simple. But how can you call me Lord when you do everything contrary to what I say? That's like a parent having a child and you giving them instructions, but they do everything opposite of what you say. You're going to feel disrespected. You're like, what is this? You don't respect me. You don't reverence me. Every time I'm telling you to, giving you advice to do this, you do the opposite, right? There's judgment that comes with that. Verse 47, whosoever cometh to me and heareth my sayings and doeth them, I will show you to whom he is like, right? A person that follows what Yahushua says or the will of God, he's going to expound on what type of person that is. It says, he is like a man which built an house and digged deep and laid the foundation on a rock. And when the flood rose or arose, the stream beat vehemently upon that house and could not shake it, for it was founded upon a rock, right? So you want to build your foundation upon a rock, right? And what's the rock? Go to 1 Corinthians. 1 Corinthians 10th chapter. 1 to 4.
Moreover, y'all got it done? Okay. Moreover, brethren, I would not that ye should be ignorant how that all of our fathers were under the cloud, and all passed through the sea, and were all baptized to Moses in the cloud and in the sea, and did all eat the same spiritual meat, and did all drink the same spiritual drink, for they drank of the spiritual rock that followed them, and that rock was Christ.
Right. So the rock that you're supposed to be founded on is Christ. Interesting that he reading the second verse, it says, and we're all baptized unto Moses in the cloud and in the sea, right? So now when we think about being baptized, you think of what? That you got to go and be submerged in the water. But right here it says when Israel came out of Egypt, it says they were baptized unto Moses in the cloud and in the sea. Wait, how was they baptized in the cloud? How was they baptized? Did the sea close up on top of them and they were submerged underwater? No, that's not the baptism that was talking about. It was talking about instruction and righteousness, following the will or following the guidance of the teachings of the Most High. We was flowing, going where the Lord wanted us to go. Right? When the Most High came down the cloud and rested on the mount, and Moses went up on the mount to receive the law, and then came down and chastised them and then taught them the law, that is baptism. That's how we being baptized, being taught, being led, being guided to righteousness, not just being fully submerged. That's where the people fall on that, oh, we got to follow the baptism of John, right? And then do Christ. Well, it says here, we was baptized under Christ back then, unknowingly. That's why I starts off, moreover, brethren, I would not that ye should be ignorant. Ignorant means what?
Against the word of God.
Not knowing.
Not knowing. The word ignorant means not knowing. You don't know. You lack knowledge of. No. No. You did not.
Well, what I say? Not knowing the word of God.
No, that's not what you said. You said something else.
Well, y'all can't judge me then.
Exactly. Yeah. So now let's go back to Luke 6 and 48 again, and then read the last verse. It's like, he is like a man which built a house and dig deep and laid the foundation on the rock. Of course, that rock is Christ. And when the flood arose, the stream beat vehemently upon that house. That's the world. That's all the things that come from the world.
Your input is invalid.
Beating on that house, right? Trying to break that house down. It says, and could not shake it, for it was founded upon the rock. Meaning it couldn't move you. Verse 49. But he that heareth and doeth not, meaning you not being founded upon the rock, which is Christ, is like a man that without a foundation built an house upon the earth. So he didn't dig deep. He just built right on top, right? And just built his house. Then it says, and against, yeah, built it on sand, against which the stream did beat vehemently, and immediately it fell. And the ruin of that house was great, right? So imagine, I mean, you got certain houses when the tornado come and it just, you know, the force of it come and destroy it. But this is just like, you know, something that's on the top surface level, something come, it just wiped the whole thing out. At least a little bit, you know, people see their couch over there and they see this thing over here. This will destroy the whole thing because it's founded on nothing. It's just going to get taken away easily. That's like that person who doesn't fall, who fall or build on your house shop. Who
will be the title of this?
Title of what? It's several topics. It's several things in one chapter because it's different. It's different topics in there.
The word of God.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, that's what you said the other day.
That wind is pretty strong out there now.
Yeah. Yeah, I felt that scene. It was last night. It was like the same way.
Somebody else really gets to
if their house ain't on good ground, it's probably swaying, moving back and forth like it's ready to drop. All right, so it's that was the last verse of Luke 6. We're going to take a half-hour break, come back around 2:40, and then do the second half of the Sabbath service, which is in Luke 7. All right, so come back, get a quick bite to eat lawfully, and we'll reconvene. Shalom.